Heisman winner. Two of his buddies are in Buffalo today. Jim Kelly, the Bills quarterback, and Bernie Kosar, the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. Kosar left Miami after his sophomore year and are the Browns. Jim Kelly is the senior member of the trio, and with him the Bills have already doubled last year's win total. And finally last week, they won one on the road for the first time in 3 years. Today, their paths cross for the first time in the National Football League. Rich Stadium in Buffalo, temperature in the 30s. Of course there is snow in the air for the Battle of Lake Erie. The Cleveland Browns visit the Buffalo Bills. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Buffalo. Len Berman with John Hanna. And John, with these weather conditions, you would expect conservative ball control football, but maybe not from the Browns.
Not from Cleveland. They've got 6 wide receivers and only 7 offensive linemen. Their idea, spread the defense out, get one-on-one matchups, and find the mismatch. Go to him, throw the ball all day long.
But the Buffalo Bills, under new coach Marv Levy, they have had newfound success rushing the football.
Jim Kelly is still a focal point, but they're taking some pressure off of him with the offensive line. They've responded. The running game is coming.
And how did you like playing in this kind of weather?
Awful. It's not cold enough to freeze and turn to snow. It's just wet out there, so you fall in it and you shiver and the wind hits you. God, it's miserable playing conditions.
And Marty Schottenheimer's played in these conditions here. He played for the Buffalo Bills for 3 years. The scouting report on him, if he could get to the ball, he might make a decent hit if he could get to the point of attack. And Marv Levy has now coached 4 games. And his record here 2-2, and the fans are excited by what they see as some improvement since Levy took over for Hank Bullock. Scott Norwood will kick off as the Browns have won the toss. They have chosen to receive. Maybe a bit of light rain at the moment. We're at that point in the temperature where it turns over from snow to rain. And there's the ice cube. I think he'd rather have the snow so he won't melt. Gerald McNeil, as you know, he's returned one on a kickoff and on a punt for touchdowns this year. So the Browns leading the Bengals by a game. Buffalo looking for some respectability and an upset. And McNeil at the 9 slips down and gets up. And slithers to the 25 on that wet artificial turf. So Bernie Kosar comes on to lead the Cleveland offense. They'll have Curtis Dickey, Kevin Mack. Mack's run for 100 yards last couple of games. Reggie Langhorne, the rookie, Webster Slaughter. Ozzie Newsome's caught a pass in 111 consecutive games. Paul Farron, the left tackle. Ricky Bolden's still out, and the rest of the offensive line. And the Browns will start at the 25. Newsome in motion and throwing, as John Hanna said, on first down. Newsome now 112 straight games and a big first down out to the 38. Finally brought down by Derek Burrows, the left cornerback. A pickup for Newsome of 13 yards on the first play. So let's check out that Buffalo defense. The front three of McNanny, Smerlis, and Bruce Smith, Mr. Sack. Linebackers are pretty good ones. Sanford, Marv, Ray Bentley, Darryl Talley. And the defensive backs that Kosar will have to worry about. Burrows and Romes, Bayless and Freeman. So a first down out at the 38 now for the Browns. And Kevin Mack gets the run and bulls out across the 45.
Already trying to establish a little bit of a run here. You know, Cleveland's not known for having a real big, strong, powerful offensive line. So maybe they're trying to tighten up and test that Buffalo defense, who right now is ranked 6th in the AFC. Versus the run, that is.
Yeah, well, their rush defense had improved, but on that carry, Mack bulled ahead for 8. And now Curtis Dickey is flanked out as a wide receiver at the bottom of your screen, number 33, on a 2nd and 2, but Mack gets the call and goes straight ahead close to a first down. Ernest Biner had the pin taken out of his ankle this week. They hope he can get back in time for the playoffs should the Browns be there, and then they could reunite those 1,000-yard rushers, Biner and Mack, once again.
We talked earlier about how Cleveland spreads out their offense to open up and get mismatches on receivers. What it also does is gets those defensive backs from behind the defensive line so that once they break through the line of scrimmage, there's open field for them to run and get a lot of extra yardage on the running game.
Well, this play will be a 3rd and 1, double tight end alignment. Fontenot in motion. Mack the call. First down at midfield and into Buffalo territory at the 48. Tackle made by Steve Freeman, the free safety. So Mack gets the job done. Second first down for the Browns. And you can see what Kevin has done the last 2 weeks.
He's a great running back. That time he caused number 26, Charles Romes, to miss a tackle. He got out in the open field and got the extra yards he needed.
So first down for Kosar and the Browns at the Buffalo 47. Just getting started in Buffalo, New York. Glad you could be with us. Dickey again is flanked out to the near side. There was a decoy the last time he was here. It was a running play. This time passing. There he is, Dickey at the 40 and out of bounds. So here's a wrinkle I'm not sure the Bills were expecting.
Passing game short, down and under. Buffalo knows that they don't have the speed to be able to stay with a man one-on-one. So what they do is they give ground, let the guys have the short pass, hope the offense will make a mistake, do something that will slow them down so that they can hold them off.
So the pass to the running back, Curtis Dickey, as he is submarined by Derek Burrows. A gain of 9. Second down and 1 for the Browns at the 38. Looking for Newsome, deep, overthrowing him as he is watched by Martin Bayless step for step, the strong safety. So Newsome, who had to wait until overtime last week to keep his pass-catching streak intact, caught one on the first play, and he was the man on that play deep, but he couldn't connect.
As you can see right here, Ozzie, number 82, Ozzie Newsome, he's covered strong by Bayless. Wasn't really open that time.
Kosar intended to go to him all the way. He was the man he was looking to.
Didn't look anywhere else.
So this is 3rd and 1 for Cleveland at the Buffalo 38. Look who's in the backfield blocking. Mack goes straight ahead. They had Big Dave Pazzulli in the backfield as a blocker, and a flag is thrown. Hal Garner made the tackle. But they call Pazzulli Glacier because he says he moves about 2 feet in a year.
If you notice that time, after the time that you remember, Mack that time still following Pazzulli up in the line of scrimmage, he broke to the outside. So maybe he was too slow for Mack that time. He tried to make it on his own.
Defense, offside, decline, first down.
Little hand clap from Silva for the first down, penalty decline. Pazzulli, the man at front. I thought he might have moved just a hair early, too.
It did look like it, but as you can see, he's coming through there just straight ahead. Everybody's just getting out of his way.
Safe. So first down to keep the drive alive at the 32. Reggie Langhorne in motion. Dickey ran into his own man, and down he goes. Dwight Drain in on a tackle with Sean McManey. But Dickey ran into Paul Farron, his tackle, I believe, trying to pull on the play. Let's watch Farron, 74 in front.
Some of the defensive players had broke through the line of scrimmage and knocked some of the pulling linemen off, so that he just kind of clogged everything up in there. Nowhere to go.
Remember, Farron's playing out of position as Larry Williams, now the left guard, with the injury to Bolden. A loss of 4, 2nd and 14 back at the 36 for Cleveland with 4 minutes gone in the first quarter. Cleveland drive still alive. Good protection for Kosar. Finally breaks down, and there he is, Fred Smerlas, who's having a terrific year after a couple of off seasons. Smerlas turning in just his 2nd sack of the year, but he's really been coming on strong and being talked to by the official there. Maybe for aggressiveness, I'm not sure, but no flag was thrown, and Smerlas gets the sack.
I don't think that was too aggressive. It'd be one thing if he'd have picked Bernie Kosar up and thrown him to the ground, but at that time you just see he kind of just laid on him. He just grabbed a hold of him and made sure that he was in the grass.
Loss of 6 on the play, John, which will set up 3rd and 20 as the Buffalo defense is stiffening. At the 42. 4 wide receivers. Overthrowing, out of bounds. Kosar went down again after he threw the ball as Bruce Smith got to him. Derek Burrows covering, and a hand for the Buffalo defense.
Buffalo's defense has been weak, you know, as far as giving up ground, but when they get down inside that red area, which is inside that plus territory for the offense, they've been strong as any team in the NFL.
So Gossett is into punt. What a miserable week he had last Sunday. Shanked one of 14 yards at one point. Ron Pitts is deep for the Bills. Pitts just waves the fair catch and stumbles down backwards. And the Bills will start inside their 10. So when we come back, it'll be Buffalo ball for the first time. Scoreless. Gossett with the punt. Back in Buffalo, we will be tracking the 10-minute ticker throughout the afternoon. Particular attention on the Cincinnati-New England score. The only score on the board thus far, Miami with the touchdown in New Orleans. And Atlanta has scored at home, hosting Indianapolis. Here in Buffalo with the Browns and Bills, no score. Browns held the ball for 9 plays for nearly 5 minutes. Punted away, and now the Bills take over. First down at their 9. The I formation in the backfield. Andre Reed in motion. Rob Riddick, who's come on strong for them and fights ahead for close to 5 yards. Good pickup for Riddick. Let's check out the offense for the Buffalo Bills, of course, led by Jim Kelly. Riddick, leading ground gainer. Gary Wilkins gets the nod. Carl Byram, their fullback, is injured. Chris Burkett, Andre Reed. Pete Metzelaars has received 40 balls thus far this year on the offensive line, and they've come on a bit, leading the ground game. You saw it work that time. Pick up a call at 4. 2nd and 6 at the 13. Reed in motion again. Kelly's first pass. Gets away. And Kelly runs much more than his counterpart Kosar does. Finally run out by Anthony Griggs. But Kelly on the air, that's his 32nd time he's carried the ball. He's rushed for over 160 yards. Kosar, on the other hand, has only carried for a total of 13 yards the entire season. The front 3 for the Browns defense, Camp, Golick, and Hairston. Their linebackers, John Hanna loves Clay Matthews, but they've got a good core with Banks, Johnson, Griggs, as well as Clay. And the dogs, Minifield and Dixon, the cornerbacks, Ray Ellis and Chris Rockins. You know, Chris is their leading tackler on the team at his free safety position. Kelly scampered for a first down on the last play. It's first down for Buffalo at the 20. And Reed again. And Riddick again. Good hole. And Riddick is still going. Rob Riddick all the way out close to the 40. A 20-yard pickup, and we noted early in the broadcast, there's that Buffalo rushing game, and credit the offensive line.
They came off the ball that time. As we look at Clay Matthews right here, number 57 at the bottom right of your screen, he's hit, he kind of strings that, cuts the play back in, but just couldn't make that one-arm tackle. But his defensive end was nowhere near to help him out.
Rockins missed the tackle there. The Buffalo attitude is much different. No longer do they expect down the line they're going to lose it. Now they come in with the attitude that they can win. They're hoping they can go 7-9 this year. Riddick again. And he nearly stumbled clear one more time. Picked up close to 7 on the play. They finally won on the road, breaking that long 3-year, 22-game losing streak. They think they can give the Browns a game and expect to win, and they finish up on the road with 2 games they feel they can win again. And here's a team that won just 2 games the last 2 years. They feel maybe they can win 7 this year. What a turnaround that would be. 2nd and 4 at the 46. Riddick has already rushed for 30 yards. Riddick dropped at that time. The Browns appear to have it, and they do. Big turnover. Cleveland with the ball. Johnson runs away with it. Mike Johnson, the backup right inside linebacker, with a fumble recovery.
I don't know who it was, but somebody just broke through there, and they were blocked, but they just reached a hand out. You can see it. It looks like his own offensive back knocked it out of his hands.
Isn't that something? Yes, it did. Looked like Wilkins knocked it out of his own hands, and Johnson picked it up. What a strange play.
Sometimes things happen like that, and there's just no, it's not anybody's real fault. It's just one of those things in football.
So a first down on the break at the Buffalo 38. Kozar going to capitalize to Herman Fontenot. He's got it on a diving reception inside the 20. Boy, what a quick turnaround. Buffalo pounding the ball, looking good on the ground, and a strange fumble caused by his own backfield mate. And now Kozar goes to work.
Both offenses have looked strong today so far. The only thing that stopped either team has been them, with Buffalo, they stopped themselves, but with Cleveland, the Buffalo defense was strong when they got inside. Let's see if they can match up and bow up again.
Pretty reception. Fontenot's 38. Mack fights down to the 16. Pick up a 4 before Sean McManey could bring him down.
Did you see at the end of that play, Sean had him wrapped up, but Mack just drug him for about 4 or 5 yards. And McManey's no lightweight, so that shows that he's got some power in those legs.
You see all these California players, San Diego State, McManey, and now coming into the cold to play in Buffalo. It's different, but at least the snow, which was falling this morning, may have turned to a bit of rain at the moment. Looks like a fine mist coming down. 2nd and 7 at the 16. Kozar into the end zone, but no one was there. Perhaps Brian Brennan had the wrong play. The wide receiver cut to the inside. Newsome was just downfield being held up a bit. I'm not sure if it was for Newsome, perhaps Brennan. Either way, Kozar thought someone would be in the end zone.
It did look like Ozzie Newsome, number 82, was trying to get out there, but Martin Bayless had him bump and run and just stuffed him right there at the line of scrimmage.
Ozzie heads off. And
now you can see him right at the right of your screen, right there, number 82. Bayless had just had him stuffed, and you can see that Ozzie was supposed to have been there.
So now 3rd and 7. Spread out formation for the Browns. 4 wide receivers in there. Look for Brennan. Got it inside the 10. Brian Brennan fights to the 4. So he says that's his bread and butter play. Simple pass over the middle. Notice he doesn't wear gloves in the cold weather. Leading the Browns now make it 42 receptions and a big 12-yard pickup on a 3rd down play for Brian Brennan. It's 1st and goal for the Browns.
They had him singled up on Derek Burroughs, and as you know, Burroughs lost his starting job for a couple of weeks here, and now they're trying to pick on him again. They figure maybe he might be the weak link. He might be the guy they pick on today.
Once again, the Glaciers in the backfield. Number 72, Dave Pazzulli. I'd like to see him give it to Pazzulli one time just to see what would happen.
The brand new refrigerator.
Travis Tucker in motion. Nope, goes to Mack. Pazzulli led the way, and Mack fights close to the 1. So he went in Pazzulli's direction, and why not? I would.
He's a load in there. A little short, heavy-set guy. Watch him come off the ball here and just cream somebody. Bingo. That was Ray Bentley, number 50, hit.
And enabled Mack to scramble for 3 yards. So this is 2nd and goal at the 1. And the officials take a timeout. And we will take a timeout as well. 6:25 remain. It's scoreless in Buffalo. And another quick look at the ticker. Score there, Kansas City with a field goal. Still no score in the Cincinnati-New England game. Chicago takes the lead. Green Bay takes a 3-0 lead over Minnesota. Pittsburgh with a field goal lead over Detroit. No change on the other scores. This is a 2nd and goal at the 1. Buffalo did take a timeout on that play. They're first. Pitch back. Dickey. And did not get there.
Excellent.
Ray Bentley making the tackle on Curtis Dickey.
Excellent play by Ray Bentley. You know, he's been playing about 4 weeks now, and he's already got 38 tackles, I think. The guy's come in. He's done a really credible job for him. Watch him fly over here. I think we're going to see this. Yep, there he comes flying over there across the field to hit him and stop him from going in.
Good pursuit.
Almost knocked the ball loose, too.
Good pursuit. Again, Pazzulli in the backfield. Kevin Mack behind him in a wide-eye formation. 3rd and goal at the 1. Mack. Did not get it. The Bills have held on 3rd down. It is 4th and goal.
That is impressive. To keep Mack out of the end zone like that takes some power, because Mack's a little short, squatty guy with big, powerful legs, and to drive him back is unbelievable. Watch the collision here.
McNanny is the man, and Cleveland will go for it. Look for McNanny, number 95. Comes over. He's one of them. There's 2 others.
Ray Bentley, number 50, also got up under there and knocked Pazzulli off.
Crowd comes to its feet. 4th and goal at the 1. And the officials stop the clock. Timeout is taken now by Cleveland.
That was the wrong thing for Cleveland to do that time. The noise got up. Cleveland couldn't maybe audible off or whatever. But what has happened now is the fans are that much more incensed. They're going to yell.
Marty Schottenheimer elects to go for 6 on 4th and goal at the 1 in a scoreless first quarter. 4:53 remaining. Mack, touchdown. Hurdles it up and over. Kevin Mack, the gamble pays off for Cleveland. 6-0 Browns.
Kevin Mack just leaped over the pile that time. Was not going to be denied. Now this strengthens up an offense. When you're 4th down and 6 inches, those offensive linemen know you've got to do it here. They get it. It builds confidence. This is what they needed, because last time, if you remember on the opening drive, they got stopped inside their own territory.
So the somersault touchdown. Jeff Gossett will hold for Mark Mosley, looking for career point number 1,359. And the straight-ahead kicker has it. So the strange fumble caused by a teammate of Rob Riddick in the Buffalo backfield, Gary Wilkins. Fumble recovery by Mike Johnson. The drive, a 4th and goal. Kevin Mack has the somersault with 4:51 remaining first quarter. Up and over for 6. Mack gives the Browns the lead.
Here's the fumble that set up the Cleveland touchdown. Number 24, Ray Ellis, comes in and just creams Gary Wilkes for the Bills, and he slings his arm back. And as Riddick's trying to tuck the ball away, he's just kind of holding it out in front of him. And as you know, he's got a cast on his left arm right there. Right. And he just knocks it away.
Oh, a low squib kick. And it's picked up at the 20 by Steve Tasker. And finally down close to the 30. Mike Johnson covering. I'm not sure if that was intentional by Mosley or not. As you know, he hasn't really kicked off for 5 years. He was not the kickoff man in Washington. Was pressed into duty last week when Harry Holt strained his thigh on the opening kickoff. The tight end. The scoring drive. 8 plays, 38 yards. The 4th down and 1 gamble at the 1. And Mack with the somersault touchdown. So with 4:41 remaining and a light drizzle now. It's warming up, so it's not snowing in Buffalo. It's first down for the Bills at their 29, now trailing 7-0. Kelly, good protection. And intended for Riddick, and he couldn't hold on. Remember, Riddick was the man at the goal line in Hank Bulla's last game when the ball went through his hands in Tampa Bay that might have given Buffalo a win against the Buccaneers. And Riddick, with that cast on his left wrist, having problems holding the ball.
Here's the replay as we see him going to Riddick. He throws it right in his hands. 59, Mike Johnson comes and makes the hit, and he's acting like he did something. But he really didn't. It wasn't, he didn't cause anything.
Johnson's been all around Riddick today. He was the man who recovered the fumble. Second down and 10. Wide open on the far side. Pete Metzelaars, the tight end, across the 40 for a first down. Pickup of 11. Chris Rockins finally brought down Metzelaars, who has his 41st reception. And a Brown is down on the far side.
Pete Metzelaars, number 88, just kind of went outside and somebody blew coverage on it. I don't know who was supposed to have taken a hold of him, but somebody didn't, and he was wide open. Number 59 right there, Mike Johnson, has taken the place of another great linebacker for Cleveland, Eddie Johnson, number 51, who's had the flu bug all week, and we had heard that he might not play.
Ray Ellis He's been doing a fine job filling in for the injured Al Gross. And Ellis is the man to the left of Metzelaars and under Pete and caught in a funny position, and then Ellis goes down. So Gross, who's had the knee problems, may be pressed to duty. But Ellis, while you're watching the replay, just popped right up and ran out of bounds. So he's not seriously hurt. But Al Gross has replaced him as strong safety. And Gross is ready to play. It's just that Ellis had been playing so well.
Do you remember Ellis is the guy that went up there and knocked 34 Wilkes' hand back to cause fumble? Now all of a sudden he gets knocked back. This is a good hard-hitting game we got going.
Boy, a lot of points in New Orleans. It's 14-7 Miami. So continue to look at the scores. This is first down at the 41 for Buffalo with 4:02 remaining first quarter. Reed in motion. Riddick holds it in his right hand. Gets across the 45. Pickup of close to 6. Bob Golick making the tackle.
So far today, Buffalo has really attacked number 78, Carl Hairston. What they've done, as you can see here, is they're taking a guard and a tackle and kind of hitting and slipping off to the linebacker and doing one-on-one with Wilkes on Matheson, and Wilkes is coming up the winner so far.
Oh, you cringe as Riddick puts down that cast-laden left hand to break his fall, but he rushed the ball well. A fluky fumble. Picked up 5 on that play. It's 2nd and 5 at the 46. Again, and nearly wrapped up and then tackled, but Golick tried to bear hug him and missed him. But Hairston was right behind.
This is a key matchup that we're going to have today all day. Is 34 Gary Wilkes, who is a tight end, transferred to fullback, and he's blocking Clay Matthews, who I think is one of the finest linebackers in the game. You can see Wilkes did a great job there, but Matthews, when he got in front of me, he turned me every way but loose. He beat me all day long.
Kelly now faced with a 3rd down and 4 at the 47. Firing over the middle. He was looking for Burkett, but overthrew him. Kelly was pressured by Sam Clancy on the play, and Burkett was watched by Felix Wright. So now the Bills are forced to punt with 2:32 remaining in the first quarter, and Cleveland already leading 7-0.
Buffalo has a young offensive line, and Cleveland does a lot of games and tricks with their defensive front on the pass rush. It's going to be important for Buffalo to keep the ball on the ground today and get a good running attack, I think.
Well, the ice cube is deep. Kids into punt. He hasn't had one blocked all year, and doesn't have it blocked here either. It's a fair punt away, but McNeil tried to decoy it, picked it up at the 10, heads to the outside, and does pick up about 7 yards on the play. But at first he looked like he was going to watch it bounce, and then took it on the hop. Ron Pitts making the tackle after the John Kidd 37-yard punt. So back come the Browns with 2:21 remaining first quarter. They've got the ball in the lead. And a reminder, coming your way, New Year's Day and the day after. All the great bowls here on NBC Sports, the Rose Bowl, the Orange Bowl, and of course the national championship game, Penn State, and Heisman winner for Miami, Vinny Testaverde. Miami, Penn State, head-to-head for the national championship here on NBC Sports. First down for the Browns. They start on their 18 as Kozar says Langhorne and Dickey move further over to the right. Now you see why. Dickey at the 21, and Dwight Drain held him, and Bayless came over to help out. Take a look at this angle we're going to show you. It's coming right at you. Don't duck.
Dwight Drain did a good job that time of an open field tackle. Curtis Dickey's slippery. He's sitting there giving all these jukes and stuff, and you're sitting there shaking, and all of a sudden he just got a hold of it.
And some help from behind. Pickup of close to 4. So call it 2nd and 6. Dickey now resting. Ball 22. Mack, the lone setback. 4 wide receivers in the lineup, and they really spread them wide on this Cleveland offense, don't they? Kozar firing, had great protection, and Brennan has open field. Brennan at midfield, and finally brought down from behind Freeman and Derek Burrows. But they went for the interception, missed it, and Brennan had lots of daylight over the middle once again.
Derek Burrows, number 29, looked like he was trying to go for the interception, and when he did, he got tangled up on his feet and just slipped down. No,
Yep.
he just slipped on the wet carpet.
Big 32-yard pickup for Doug Flutie's buddy. Speaking of Heisman winners, Brennan at Boston College when Flutie was there. And there he goes as Burrows slipped. Gets down to Buffalo territory. First down at the 47. 32-yard pickup. Langhorne bounced off his chest. Langhorne doesn't wear the gloves either. I've seen receivers now wearing gloves inside dome stadiums, and here Langhorne, Brennan come out. Don't bother with the mittens.
They took away the stickum, so a lot of receivers now have gone to these rubberized gloves. It kind of slows that ball down, because even in the stadium you start sweating and your hands get slippery and the ball just fall right through.
Again, there's a light mist. It had been snow flurries and a threat of snow this morning, and now it's more rain. Second down at the 47 and 10. Draw play. Mack. And fights to the 44 for a 3-yard pickup. Bayless brought him down and then helps him up. And this will be third down and long. 3rd and 7. And you see the clock running out on the first quarter. Each team took a timeout in the first quarter, and that may have a bearing when we get close to halftime. A strange fumble. Gary Wilkins forced his own teammate, Rob Riddick, to cough it up. On a 4th and goal, Kevin Mack took it in on the somersault. And that's the story of this first quarter as it runs out in Orchard Park, New York. And the gun goes off. So that's the end of the first quarter. Kozar and company lead the Buffalo Bills 7-0. Second quarter. And welcome back to rainy Buffalo now. Len Berman along with John Hanna. The 7-0 Cleveland. Anything surprise you through one quarter of play?
Well, not really. You know, the Buffalo offense, first series looked good. Second series, not so good. But Cleveland came out there. They drove the ball good down to inside their own territory. Then they got stopped. They got to do it again here to prove that they do have the offense to carry them on to a victory today.
Buffalo defense has been solid. Good goal line stand. Forced them to go on 4th down. Here it's 3rd and 7 at the Buffalo 44 as we start the second quarter. Kozar overthrows. Looking for Clarence Weathers. Well covered, and now Jeff Gossett will have to punt. So first quarter statistics, Buffalo able to pass for just 12 yards. And look at Cleveland. Had the ball nearly 11 minutes to just 4 for Buffalo.
That's standard for Buffalo. Their defense stays on the field a long time. They bend, but they seldom break.
Gossett went 33 yards on the first punt. Ron Pitts again standing back at his 10. Gossett looking for the corner. The ball flops down and dies right on the 10. So Gossett does the job. Anytime you can down it inside the 20, you've done your work for the day. Timeout as we start the second quarter. Back in Buffalo, Len Berman with John Hanna. Jim Kelly leading the Bills. They only had the ball, as you saw, for a bit over 4 minutes in the first quarter. His only completion to a tight end, Pete Metzelars, as he starts first down at the 10. And throwing, perhaps. Keeping, for sure. First down and slides across the 20. And you know, for Browns fans wondering about the Bengals game, it's a mirror image of this one. A 1-yard run for Larry Kinnebrew, and Cincinnati keeps pace with the Browns, trailing by 1 game at 7-0 in New England. Denver and Kansas City are tied at 3. Minnesota's opened up a 10-point lead in Green Bay.
11-yard gain.
Pittsburgh, the 3-point lead. As we noted, Kelly much more apt to run than Kozar is, his former Miami teammate. The Hurricanes first down at the 21. Pitch back to Riddick. Well, the Riddick story is really interesting as he picks up a handful of yards. I mean, on the depth chart, he was lucky to make this team with names like Greg Bell and Joe Cribbs in the lineup. They drafted Ronnie Harmon #1, and all of a sudden here's Rob Riddick late in the season. They're leading rusher and one of their leading receivers, despite the cast.
I think it just proves a point. There's a lot of scouts out there that have times, heights, weights, speeds, but the one ingredient they don't measure in a player is heart, and Riddick has heart. He has desire. He wants to play football.
Not from a football power. Millersville, Pennsylvania. Pickup of 6 on the play, 2nd and 4, and Reed has spent the day going in motion. Riddick has spent the day with the football, really crushed by 3 Browns. The ball popped loose. You can hear the players yelling out face mask on the sideline. Reggie Camp, one of those Browns, hard hitting, as you noted earlier, John.
It really is. He came through the line that time, and I don't know who reached out and grabbed him around the head, but he about tore his head off. He looked like the headless horseman of Ichabod Crane days coming through there. Just rip it right off.
The Bills are claiming Camp had a face mask on the play. Let's see if he can pick it up here.
There he is right there. He just grabbed him and bent him backwards. That was 96, number 96, Reggie Camp.
Right. And Camp's hand was wrapped around the face mask. I'm not sure he grabbed it, though, from that angle. This is 3rd and 2 at the 29. Another important 3rd down. Kelly from the shotgun. Inside handoff to Ronnie Harmon, that top draft pick. Harmon fighting to get outside and barely does, but I think he's shy of the 1st down. Chip Banks with the important tackle, and Buffalo will have to punt.
So far today, Buffalo has gotten the ball inside their own 10 twice. And that's tough field position to be in to start off with. But they've got to bring it out. They've got to get the field position on their side of the bench instead of on the other side of the field if they want to win today.
And Harmon hobbles off the field, hopping on 1 foot. Fellow who carried that ball. McNeil is in once again to try to return John Kidd's punt. Flag is down. Good punt from Kidd. McNeil at the 27. Got a shot. 35, and a 2nd flag is thrown late. So as Hal Garner made the tackle on McNeil, we'll have to hold up and see what either flag was about. Cleveland signaling punt again.
Could be offsetting penalties.
We'll listen to Fred Silva.
Illegal formation on the offense. Illegal push in the back. On the returning team, it's holding. We're going to have a replay. 4th down.
All right, Marv Levy knows that his Bills team is the 2nd most penalized team in the NFL, behind the Jets. And Schottenheimer's crew called for a hold as well. So what you just saw a moment ago really didn't happen. We will have another punt here as the rain continues to fall with 12:29 remaining, 2nd quarter. They tend to McNeil on the far side.
He had lots of room that last time. They had held up Buffalo's coverage team well, and he had about 10 yards of just clear space before he ever had to even make a decision.
142 yards. That's half of John Hanna, isn't it?
At least.
So Kidd will try again. See McNeil at the top of your picture waiting. Short kick on a bounce. McNeil. Boy, Cleveland lucky to retain possession on that one as McNeil touched it. A golden opportunity for Buffalo they couldn't collect as Cleveland recovered it. So we come back, 12:19 remaining. Credit Mark Harper for keeping the ball. Steve Tasker went for the man, not the ball, John. And we will take a look at what happened on that near disaster for Cleveland. But first down for the Browns at their 28. They lead 7-0 early 2nd quarter. Kevin Mack. Maybe a yard. Lucius Sanford stopped him. Take a look at what happened here, John.
The ball bounces. Steve Tasker's going after the big hit right there, and he doesn't even see the fumble.
The ball, Steve, the ball.
If he'd had a little help down there, some of his friends could have helped him maybe.
Instead, Mark Harper fell on it for Cleveland. Last play did pick up 1 yard. 2nd and 9 for the Browns at the 29. Ozzie Newsome, look, the tight end goes all the way up to the top of your screen. Look at the spread formation for the Browns. We've got Fontenot, a running back, all the way to the left side. Kozar, the rush was on. Picked up the blitz. Went for Brennan. Overthrew him. And Kozar slow getting up. And congratulations go for the Bills linebackers. Marv is congratulated by Sanford for the hit.
This is Buffalo's new strategy. They know their defensive secondary doesn't have the speed to stay with somebody all day long. So they're sending a lot of blitz, a lot of people in there to pressure that quarterback, make him hurry his throw. And 54 Eugene Marv did that.
And now it's 3rd and 9. And Marv is congratulated as if he had turned in a sack.
It's just as good as a sack.
Well, look at this spread formation on the far right. Got 2 wide receivers out in that direction. Protection galore. And Fontenot with the big gainer all the way up near midfield. Herman Fontenot, the second-year player from LSU. Finally, Martin Bayless, so a big 3rd down pickup for Fontenot. 21 yards and a 1st down. Let's check out the scores. The Giants in the battle for first place in Washington have taken the lead. Cincinnati continues to lead in New England. Chicago with a 14-point lead. Ditto Miami. 10-point lead for the Vikes. And the rest of the scores. 1st down for the Browns at their 47. Mack. And again, on a 1st down running play is stopped. Fred Smerlas, your old friend, the man in the middle.
He's a hard man to stop. I guarantee you he'll come around you and hit you and snort at you all day long. He's a great gentleman off the field, but I don't like being in front of him on the field.
You had some great battles.
Oh, great player. You know, a little earlier, though, we were talking when they got that 1st down on the screen. That's the perfect the counter for an offense to go when the defense is trying to get to you with a rush.
All right, interesting play selection. Let's see what he does here on a 2nd and 9 at the 48. And he's hit. It's a fumble, and it goes to Mack, who dropped it and picked him up himself. So the bounces are going Cleveland's way today. That again was a golden opportunity for the Bills as the play was ruled a fumble. Bruce Smith in on the hit. And a fortuitous bounce again for Cleveland.
Bruce Smith, number 78, is Buffalo's leading sacker right now with about 12 sacks this year. And I was talking to Smerlas before the game. He says that Bruce lives for the rush. He doesn't care for the run game that much, but he loves to rush that passer.
A loss of 1 as Mack got the bounce. 3rd down and 10 at the 47. Brennan in motion. And he runs right into Fontenot and drops it. And this time the Bills have it on the 3rd try. Sean McManey. The fumble recovery as Kozar and Fontenot collided. And Cleveland, which has been living awfully dangerously on the punt and then the fumble, the 3rd time's the charm for Buffalo.
Bruce Smith is standing right there. I think he just kind of stared the ball out of his hand. I don't know.
I think you're right. Fontenot saw Smith on the other side with one eye and Kozar with the other, and they dropped it. Now Buffalo in business for the first time. Good field position. The Cleveland 39-yard line. Riddick fights for 4. 9:45 remaining. 1st half, and we'll see if Buffalo capitalize on the turnover the way Cleveland did against them. That's been the story thus far in the ball game. The fumbles. A reminder to our viewers, we'll be selecting the Budweiser Most Valuable Player for today's game at the conclusion of the game. And perhaps today's winner in this light rain will be the one who can hold on to the football. 2nd and 6 at the 35 for Buffalo. Cleveland defense shaking things up. The last moment, Kelly to an open, and he dropped it, and he couldn't hold on to the ball. Andre Reed. Frank Minifield covering. Kelly knows his man was open and clear, but he hasn't been able to complete a pass to a wide receiver yet this afternoon. That should have been one.
Number 31, Frank Minifield, is known as a big hitter, and I think maybe Buffalo's receivers might have heard of that reputation because he was definitely trying to run with the ball before Minifield could get to him and give him the big stick.
So Minifield, the man on the coverage, watching Reed once again on this play out of the shotgun. 3rd down and 6 at the 35. The rush is on, and Kelly gets away. And Kelly fights down to the 29 and close to a first down. What a play by Jim Kelly. Chris Rockins finally made the tackle.
You know, I think with Jim Kelly out there, he might be thinking, this is the first year I'm really in the NFL, and here I am playing against Ernie Kosar, my fellow teammate. Let's have this duel. Let's see who really is the best out here.
And let's see if Buffalo goes for the gamble here. Kelly is dragged down shy of a first down. And Buffalo will go for it on 4th and 1, but first Kelly will spend his second of 3 timeouts with 8:21 still remaining in the first half.
This game has been a rock'em sock'em one so far, and it's been fun to watch.
So mirror images, they've each had a fumble. They'll each try on 4th and 1. We'll be back to see how it turns out in a minute. They have run 17 plays. Riddick involved in 9, including the fumble that led to the 7 points. So he's been right in the middle of everything. Let's see if he gets the call on 4th down and 1 at the 30. It is he, and he's got it. So a couple of gambling coaches, and Riddick shakes off the wetness, and he has gone for the first down. Interesting score to point out is there's no change on this panel. When we get to the second panel, the Chicago Bears, the 21st point was rolled up, or at least the 6th before the 21st. A Doug Flutie run for his first NFL touchdown.
Congratulations to Doug.
And the rest of the score. So 1st and 10 now at the 28. Kelly to throw, and chased, and away again. Complete to guess who? At the 20, Riddick. Slams the ball down. A pickup of 8. Kelly's got all the salary. Riddick involved in all the plays.
Isn't that the luck? Gary Wilkes, 34 that time, was blocking and did a great job.
Offense, number 88.
Metzelars.
Holding. Repeat the down.
Nullifies a good play for Kelly and Riddick, as Kelly ran all over the backfield, and it was Riddick running downfield. But the flag on Metzelars makes it for naught. We have 7:31 remaining in the first half. The Browns lead the Bills 7-0. If you're just joining us, the light rain is now a mist, but it's been a rain story where this morning the forecast was snow. Metzelars on the right of your screen, trying to hold off Chip Banks.
Just kind of drug him down to the ground. You know, sometimes those things you just have to do it, though. It's better than getting your quarterback hurt.
So they repeat first down. He goes to Riddick again. Or the Cleveland defense just put a couple of guys on Riddick. Let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
This is WKYC TV3 in Cleveland.
In Buffalo, Len Berman with John Hanna. 7 minutes and 9 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Browns leading at 7-0, and it's all Riddick today.
Well, we know that Riddick is their favorite receiver for Buffalo, and so they're trying to take him away, and Metzelars, and I think they don't have a whole lot of confidence in the outside receivers. Cleveland doesn't think they can beat them.
2nd and 20 at the 38. Riddick in motion. And he completes it to the fullback, Wilkins. So he's unable to complete anything to wide receivers. Wilkins with the pickup. You know, Kelly was quoted as saying that the Ice Cube, Gerald McNeil, who plays for the Browns, who was his old teammate with the Houston Gamblers, Kelly was quoted as saying that he would start if he were here with Buffalo as wide receiver.
You know, that may be why the receivers may not be trying to work too hard for Jim either. I would resent that statement if I was one of his receivers.
Well, it's 3rd and 11 now at the 29. Kelly out of the shotgun. Spread formation. Throwing it, completing it at the 10 to Jimmy Teal. 19 yards for Teal, just his second reception of the year for the second-year player from Texas A&M. And he finally completes a pass to a wide receiver, and it's a big one to Teal.
Just a simple break-in pattern by number 86, Jimmy Teal here, and you can see he just had a little bit of a step on Minifield, and Minifield 31, he loves one-on-one coverage. I don't think he loved it that much that time.
19-yard pickup for Teal. The ball roughly at the 10. Call it first and goal for Buffalo. Riddick gets the call and powers down close to the 6. He's got power, Riddick. He's listed at 6 foot 195, but seems to have some good strength to him.
Well, he's got that. He's got good eyes, and he sees the cracks before they really open up, so he's there when they do open up. Another thing he does, he gets up there behind those big old hogs up in front of him, just kind of puts his hand there and just kind of rests on them and let them do the work, and he just kind of follows them up in there.
That was your nickname, Hog. Second and goal. Ball resting nearly at the 7. One more time. Riddick inside the 5. Clock continues to run inside of 5 minutes remaining in the first half. The Browns lead the Bills 7-0. But this will be an interesting call here. Third and close to 5. A simple run up the middle I don't think is going to do it, John.
No, I don't think it'll work either. You know, it's been interesting, though. The first quarter they were picking on Carl Harrison, number 78. This quarter they've been running at Reggie Camp. So I don't know what Buffalo's real strategy is here. I'm just going to have to watch it like everybody else.
Riddick is flanked out to the right, as is Andre Reed. Chris Burkett to the left. Riddick in motion. Kelly to throw. Towards Reed at the goal line and incomplete. So this will be 4th and goal. Frank Minifield covering. And Norwood trots on the field to attempt a field goal.
Andre Reed that time should have caught that ball too. That's what, 2-3 passes he's dropped today. If he keeps missing them like that, I'm wondering how much longer Jim Kelly's going to go to him.
You saw Norwood glance up at the top of the goalpost to see if there's any wind on the little flags. There is none. This will be 22-yard attempt. The punter, Kidd, holds for Norwood, who had an 8 field goal streak snapped last week in Kansas City. And the kick is good. Scott Norwood, 22 yards, and Buffalo is on the scoreboard with 4:13 remaining in the first half. So both teams have scored following fumble recoveries. Now tip off the 1986-87 college basketball season here on NBC Sports. Defending national champ, the Louisville Cardinals, play host to the Paul Blue Demons. Coach Crum's Cardinals, led by Purvis Ellison. He was last year's Final Four MVP. It's college hoop season. Next Saturday, 3:30 Eastern, right here on NBC Sports. Marv Levy chose not to gamble on 4th and goal from the 4. Wise choice, taking the sure 3, the Norwood field goal. Levy's coached just about, he's run out of leagues, you know, NFL, CFL, USFL. The cynics say now he's coaching in Buffalo, so he's covered all the leagues now.
You know, he has turned his team around, though. He's played some, been with some teams, and he's turned them around, then he's left. But here's Cowers right there. He's Cleveland's special teams coach. They say he's a wild man. He runs up and down the sidelines. I can remember playing against him when he was running up and down the field on special teams, and nobody enjoyed watching him come down when he was coming at you.
Well, Cower goes down the sideline alongside of McNeil and runs along with them, and Marty Schottenheimer said, hey, it's okay if you do that, just don't run into me along the way.
Well, I don't think Cower's going to stay with McNeil long. I know he doesn't have that kind of speed.
Well, Cower has his arms folded. Has 2 different shoes worn by the kicker, Scott Norwood, who just put the Bills on the board. 4:13 left in the half. It's 7-3 Cleveland. Does it get out of bounds? They'll do it again. They'll back him up to the 30. No, I heard about a high school game in California a couple of weeks, John, where 3 consecutive 15-yard penalties were called against the receiving team, and the kicker wound up kicking off at the 15-yard line, 15 yards away from the goal line. So what's the strategy? Onside kick.
I would
Because
think so.
if you kick it in the end zone, it's a touchback. It's 5 yards back upfield.
Good night.
So what happened in the high school game, they went for the onside kick and didn't get it, so they did march 5 yards backwards, and it was a touchback. Interesting. This telecast presented by authority of the NFL, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Buffalo Bills and the National Football League is prohibited.
There's Jim Ringo right there on the sideline with his headset on. Interesting story about Jim. We want to wish his wife, Betty, a lot of good luck. She's having a bout right now with cancer, and so far she's winning the battle.
Well, our best to her. What a player Jim Ringo was.
He was my offensive line coach for about 4 or 5 years, and I'll be honest with you, he's the best offensive line coach I ever had. He could show you the little things that nobody else could do.
Well, you've said a mouthful. So now kicking off from the 30. This one stays in bounds. The cube at the 8. Oh, my goodness. Dean Prater. And the little guy just gets up and walks off the field. Oh, my goodness.
That hurt me.
Crushed ice.
What's this blow? Kaboom!
Oh, my goodness.
He dislodged him. Oh, good night.
I'm glad I never played the sport of football, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, my goodness. First down at the 27 for Cleveland. Mack, is he looking to throw? No, he tucks it in and heads out of bounds. With 3:53 remaining in the half, clock is stopped. The rain picks up once again in Buffalo. And Cincinnati continues to lead New England by 7, but the Patriots have found a way to win in just about every week in some fluky fashion, too. Low scoring in Kansas City, Chicago with that lead, lots of points in New Orleans, Miami now leading by 14. Minnesota over Green Bay by 7. And the rest of the scores here. Second down and 5 for Cleveland, the 32. They lead Buffalo 7-3. Mack again, nothing fancy, first down, and heads out with 3:48 remaining. Steve Freeman led the chase out of bounds. So a couple of running plays to Mack. And there's Steve Freeman playing in his 179th game, which is a club record.
Buffalo has been stuffing Cleveland up the middle, so now all of a sudden they've tightened their formation down, brought all the defensive backs inside and got them clogged up, and now they're going outside with the ball. It's kind of an interesting ploy by Marty Schottenheimer and his staff.
Pickup of 13. Mack on track for his 3rd consecutive 100-yard game. First down for the Browns at the 43. Let's see if they stay conservative here. Fontenot in motion. Ozzie Newsome, the big gainer, out of bounds at the Buffalo 35. Martin Bayless, watch Newsome. Well-designed play there. The fake to Mack, and Newsome lumbering down the far side was able to pick up 22 yards.
Ozzie started all the way on this side of the field and then went all across the field and just beat Martin Bayless in a kind of a foot race. Ooh, I saw something then I didn't see before. There was a kind of a little pick play right behind there, and it kind of knocked the defender off of him that was covered him one-on-one.
So now the Browns are marching. They're down to the Buffalo 35. High formation in the backfield is Mack and Dickey with Langhorne in motion. Dickey, big hole. Dickey to the outside. Curtis Dickey may go all the way. Out of bounds at the 3. Derek Burrows finally making a stop. The 7-year veteran from Texas A&M picks up 32 yards, and what a gigantic hole he had up the middle.
As you can see here in the end zone, they do give him a hole. He pops it through the line of scrimmage, cuts in behind his blocks. Steve Freeman is the only guy back there who can stop him, and he's off to the foot races now. Luckily, Derek Burrows, number 29, did knock him out to give him a fighting chance now.
And Burrows is still down on the far side of the end zone.
Burrows shaking up on the play.
Watch him run past Marv right here. 69 for Cleveland. Dan Fike just kind of gets in the way, and Curtis Dickey does the rest.
And Burrows, the man who put his shoulder down, you see him down there right at the goal line. Well, he is still down. Three minutes and 33 seconds to go, and number 33 just ran for 32. Kelvin Bryant just ran for 4, and the Redskins have tied the Giants 7-7 in the battle for first place in the NFC East. And Burrows is up.
I'm glad to see him up and about. That Washington-New York game, they're fighting for home field advantage.
That's right.
And that's very important. Last year we went to the playoffs, 3 road games before we ever got to the Super Bowl. We were worn out before we ever got there. That home field advantage is very important.
Of course, the NFC, if you have to play on the road has to wind through places like Chicago or the Meadowlands or Washington or San Francisco, and it's a long and winding road indeed.
I think we traveled over 3,000 or 4,000 miles last year on the way to our Super Bowl win.
Well, here in Buffalo on a rainy Sunday afternoon with 3:33 remaining in the half, Cleveland and Cincinnati battling for the home field edge. The game next week, Cleveland at Cincinnati, is the big one here. If Cleveland wins that game, it doesn't matter what happens in any other game, they would clinch the AFC Central. Here, first and goal at the 3 for the Browns. Mack flies over the top, but not in. Ray Bentley there for the Bills. Mack does have the touchdown of the day on his somersault run with 4:51 remaining in the first quarter. And here he tries for a long dive, and it's a little long to dive 3 yards. Bentley came diving over with the shoulder as well.
He did get some height that time.
Degree of difficulty was a simple one. He's now at 50 yards. Second and goal at the 1. Mack. Touchdown number 2 for Kevin Mack on the day. A good, well-designed drive. Some big plays. A pass play to Ozzie Newsome. A long run by Curtis Dickey. Topped off by a 1-yard touchdown by Kevin Mack. His second of the day. And it's now 13-3 Cleveland.
Watch Kevin Mack, number 34. As you can see him coming through here, you'll also notice that he kind of turns sideways. The reason the back will kind of lean that way is so that he gets a smaller target for the defense to hit.
Mark Mosley adds another point, and with 2:51 remaining in the first half, Cleveland Browns have opened up a 14-3 lead. The first points of the day that were not set up by a turnover. Just a fine drive orchestrated by Bernie Kosar. I particularly like the third play of the drive after 2 straight Kevin Mack runs. Play action fake to Mack and the pass down the right side to Newsome. But here's the touchdown again.
Boom. He was not going to be denied. That was the first legitimate drive we have all the way in for the score that time. And,
it only took a minute 9, John, the 6 plays. That's because 3 or 4 of the plays went out of bounds.
Exactly.
They kept stopping the clock. Kevin Mack halfway home. 51 yards. 15 rushes.
You know, they talk about the numbers up here in the box, but I think the players, they don't even think about those numbers. The only numbers they're concerned about is up on the scoreboard.
So now Marv Levy sees his squad trailing by 11. Now, I think only one game all year they never led. In fact, they had a fourth quarter lead in virtually every game, even though they've only won 4. Tasker and Harmon are deep. But here they have trailed throughout, and we'll see what they are made of, trailing here by 11.
Buffalo now needs to get the ball and drive down and get 7 if they want to be in the game. You can't keep getting 3 when the other team's getting 7. That's, you know, you're losing 4 points every time you turn it around.
So Mosley will kick off. Remember the last one was kind of a half-hearted squib? This one, Mosley's not your deep kickoff man, folks. Harmon at the 11. And Harmon, who limped off after his only carry earlier, is down at the 32. Tackle made by Scott Nicholas.
Mark Mosley is not known for his long kickoffs, but what he is known for is the height. In net returns, he's just probably as effective as any other kicker in the league because it hangs up there so long that the defenders can get down there and cover the guy before he has any chance to get a kind of a return started.
I loved Webster Slaughter's line. He said, "I've never seen a straight-ahead kicker before," when Mosley joined the team. That's how young he is. Coming up at halftime, you'll hear from former Heisman winners Archie Griffin and Steve Spurrier, plus all the scores and highlights on NFL 86. Shotgun, first down at the 32. Kelly has to run again. Nobody open. So Kelly has rushed a lot this year, and I'm not sure it's specifically by design. He had plenty of protection. Nobody was open. As we've noted earlier, he has trouble connecting with wide receivers. And the clock continues to run with 2:24 remaining. Buffalo has just one timeout left. No huddle here. They will have the 2-minute warning. And a completion to, and he can't. I thought it was a completion for sure. Another drop pass. And Kelly can't believe it. Wilkins drops it. And a flag is down. Now Kelly says, "Come on, guys." For this one.
Right in his hands. Bang.
Defense, 12 men on the field. 5 yards. Repeat the down.
So Buffalo gets a break. The Browns had 12 men on the field.
Still, he was open with
Right.
12 men on the field.
Right. Can't hold on to the ball. It doesn't matter.
That's right.
2:15 left in the half. 2nd and 4 at the 38. Cleveland leads Buffalo 14-3. An important series right here for the Bills. The dump off. Riddick holds on. Has blocking. And Riddick fights close to midfield. Drop the football. Cleveland has it. Another Rob Riddick fumble. Carl Hairston recovered. So nobody can hang on to the ball when it comes to them. When Riddick does, and he's 60% of the offense today, and his second fumble. And it's hard to tell what caused that fumble, if indeed it was the ground or a player or if he lost it. Our view is obscured there.
You know, in defense of Riddick, though, he's got that cast on one arm, his left arm, and he's running down there with it, holding the ball in his right hand. He should have had the ball in the other hand, but couldn't because of the broken wrist.
Great chance for the Browns here at the Bills' 48.
That ball right there, John.
Fontenot driven back by a host of Bills, which will bring us to the 2-minute warning. Clock is stopped with 1:57 remaining in the first half. When we come back, Browns ball, an 11-point lead, going for more. Back in Buffalo, Len Berman with John Hanna. You can see the rain falling in front of us between the camera and our broadcast booth position. But the Browns here with a golden opportunity to really do some damage to the Bills.
It could almost salt it away a little bit for them because, you know, you go into halftime with a 21-3 lead. That puts a damper on the Buffalo Bills.
And the Bills defense has played pretty well. Just that one last drive is what hurt them. And of course, the 2 Rob Riddick fumbles. 2nd and 10 at the 49. Brennan. First down. The 37. Cleveland in a hurry-up offense will rush back. Pickup of 12 for Brennan. Clock continues to run with 1:42 remaining. The Browns do have 2 timeouts remaining. First down at the 37. Again, Brennan over the middle, time and again, and there's a flag down. And Bruce Smith is saying this will be a hold. Smith's making the call at 10 yards back upfield. He's saying it's holding against the Browns. And Bruce Smith should trade in his jersey for a stripe, huh?
You know, what those defensive linemen do is they don't just sit there and say, he was holding me, he's holding me. It's about, and then finally gets paid and says, it's about time you made that call.
Offense, number 74, holding, 10 yards, repeat the down.
Paul Farron, who, as we noted, is normally a guard, pressed into action to play left tackle. And the Giants have taken the lead in Washington. Bengals in New England continue 7-0. Kansas City leading Denver. Chicago continues to lead. No changes on that panel of scores.
You know, one thing that did was that penalty took Cleveland out of field goal position for sure that time. So now they've got to recapture yardage just to get 3 points.
First down at the 47. They do have the 2 timeouts to work with a minute 29 to go in the first half. And fired away. Webster, Slaughter, and face to face and pushing each other with Charles Romes. Slaughter and Romes were jawing, and finally Romes just pushed him in the face mask on the near side.
Football is a team sport, but there are a lot of individual wars going on out there. And you can see these 2 guys at the end of the play, they're just kind of looking at each other and says, I got you that time, and you're not going to do it anymore.
Look at
says,
this.
oh, yeah, I'll wait till next.
No flag thrown on that bit of business. Second down and 20 at the 47 following the hold. And incomplete. Looking for Slaughter. Rome's nowhere in the area. The pressure from Fred Smerlas, and I could see the little twist he pulled. That was a nice little defensive line move Smerlas made to turn around and get the pressure on Kozar.
It was a good move, and it seems like Buffalo's trying to dish to Cleveland a little of their own medicine, because that's what Cleveland's defense is known for, is the famous twists and the stunts. And it's hard as an offensive lineman because, you know, you start bumping and tripping over each other's legs when they start doing these maneuvers, and it can give you some fits.
3 wide receivers, a tight end, lone running back. This is a 3rd and 20 at the 47. You see the time remaining. Big play right here. And Kozar, despite the fact Smith had an arm around him, or was it Smerlas, gets it out to Ozzie Newsome, and Dwight Drain covers him. Kozar throwing it with a bill draped around him, and the clock running down to a minute left in the half. This will be 4th down and 13, and Cleveland will punt.
Now we see the effect of that penalty.
Absolutely. So if I were Cleveland, I would just let the 30-second clock run out. 5 yards back won't cost you that much, and it will eat some time off the clock. 30-second clock is now at 4. And I just let it go if I were the Browns. Delay of game penalty here with 28 seconds to go in the first half. Now Gossett heads off to have a word with Marty Schottenheimer.
What they try to do, the offense gets up there and they give them the ball and they act like they're going to do it and hope they'll pull the defense off sides. And I don't know what advantage that would have done. Maybe that time they just were, like you were talking about, just running the clock down.
Just using as much time, give Buffalo as little time as possible when they do get the ball back here. Here's the call by Fred Sullivan.
Offense, delay, 5 yards.
So Buffalo will get it back with 1 timeout and very little time remaining. They trail 14-3 with 28 seconds to go. First half. Ron Pitts is deep for the Bills to receive Jeff Gossett's punt. Gossett having a better day than he did a week ago at home. And hits the end zone for the touchback. 45-yard punt, and 11 seconds went off the clock on that punt. And there's a discussion with some of the players from both sides down at the 15-yard line as Kelly comes on with now 17 seconds remaining.
Looked like Clay Matthews was having a discussion with maybe Butch Riley down there for the Bills, and they were just kind of talking about who's going to do what to who.
Well, as you see, Buffalo, just the 1 timeout remaining. They've got the ball at the 20 and a long way to go, and they may just decide to sit on it. The crowd will boo the decision, but when you're trailing by 11 in the rain, I don't find fault with that call at all.
Especially with a conservative offense that Buffalo has and has to stick with. They don't have a deep threat, so I think they made the right choice then. Go back, regroup, find out what you're doing wrong. Let's come out the second half and take it to them.
Gun is fired. That's it for the first half. You want the story in a nutshell? 2 Rob Riddick fumbles, 2 Kevin Mack touchdowns. The Browns lead the Bills 14-3. where the Browns lead it 14-3. There's Kevin Mack, Len Berman along with John Hanna. And the Buffalo Bills now have to overcome an 11-point deficit if they hope to win their second consecutive game for the first time in over 3 years.
Well, if you take away the turnovers in the first half, they're in this ball game. It's been a real close game so far. Both teams are going after it. And as you can see right here by the stats, Cleveland's just had the ball more and done a little bit more with their offense so far.
Well, the passing is a key where Bernie Kosar is able to hit Brian Brennan, a wide receiver, over the middle. Jim Kelly unable to hit wide receivers or running backs. A case of the dropsies today for the Bills.
That's the key right there. He's throwing the ball. He's hitting his receivers. His receivers aren't holding on to it. There are a lot of drops, a lot of missed catches. Wilkins has missed. Andre Reed's missed a couple. You know, and it's got to be frustrating for Kelly because he's putting on a good show today for his fans.
We have a half remaining. That's interesting with Kosar and Kelly. Kosar was acquired by Cleveland in the deal with Buffalo. Received 4 draft choices. Kelly was acquired by Buffalo with a draft choice they got from Cleveland in the Tom Cousineau deal. So both quarterbacks trace their origins to draft choices of the other team. And these teams, of course, on opposite ends of Lake Erie scrimmage all the time. So,
well, not only that, but you've got, like, the two communities are very similar in the way that they, you know, the type people that are involved in the communities and everything else. There's some good rivalry between these two teams.
Mark Mosley, who has struggled with his kickoffs, will start the second half, which means Buffalo should have decent position. And Mosley looking for a kicking tee. As Steve Tasker and Ronnie Harmon are deep, Bills need a return. Marv Levy in his 5th game, replacing Hank Bulla. Would hope for a winning record if he can get one today. A game they thought they could win, and Levy says, come on. And Mosley says, here we go. And again, that's the poor kick, maybe intentional. Harmon has blockers. Harmon trips over his man on the outside. He tripped over Hal Garner. He had a shot at breaking it. Mark Harper officially is credited with the tackle, but it was really his teammate.
Watch when 99 Prater goes down, he hits, and he just continues sliding. Watch him just kind of slide about 5 yards.
That's what brought him down.
That's what brought him down.
So a fumble caused by a teammate, now a tackle, the same, and the break's not going Buffalo's ways. We start the second half with the Bills at their 25. It is 14-3 Cleveland. Harmon and Wilkins start in the backfield. Rob Riddick is out, John. Kelly to throw. Going deep. Wide open is Chris Burkett. He holds on. Buffalo with the touchdown. To the end zone to greet Chris Burkett. 75 yards, the first play of the second half. Wow, what an opening. Burkett, his second touchdown of the year, and he didn't drop it. That's all I could think of when he was wide open. Is he going to drop a Kelly pass? He did not. Touchdown Bills, they're back in it, just like that.
The conservative Bills go for the bomb and win.
Some fans just got back from the concession stand saying, what happened? Norwood, the extra point. 21 seconds into the third quarter, a 75-yard bomb to Chris Burkett from Jim Kelly. How's that for fireworks after no TDs in the first half? Doesn't take them long to score one in the second. Buffalo within 4, 14-10. Back in Buffalo. What a whiz-bang start to the second half. Cleveland's lead sliced to 4 on one play. Chris Burkett, a second-year player from Jacksonville State. His 21st reception of the year. What a big one.
They just fooled the Cleveland Browns all the way that time. Chris Burkett had the corner beat. It looked like the corner was looking for the strong safety to back him up there in that back deep zone, but he wasn't there. Nobody was there.
So Scott Norwood will kick off, and here we go. He has a low line drive, and it heads out of bounds again on him. And one more time, he will be penalized and will have to kick off again. Take a look at the end of the play. Chris Burkett puts on the show and then puts on the encore, a little Pee Wee Herman dance for 6 points for Chris Burkett. Metzelaars comes up, and then later on Kelly sprinted the entire 75 yards himself and said a wide receiver held on 6 points. Congrats.
You know, and the whole Buffalo team now, you're in at halftime, you're talking to yourself, you're saying, we can do it, we can come back, we can win this ball game. Then all of a sudden you pop one like that at the beginning of the game, and now all of a sudden you really believe it. You think it, you know, and it's a big turnaround for Buffalo's emotions.
You know who the most excited people here today are? Tom and Martha Rogers. They run a travel agency out of Rochester, and they sold 141 round-trip tickets, $30 package deal, money back guarantee. If Buffalo loses, the people get their money back. So they've got $4,000 on the line. So wherever Tom and Martha Rogers are, they jumped up 20 feet when that touchdown was scored. Got a lot riding on this one. Norwood kicks again. And McNeil, and they'll be backed up another 5. You know, they have an option here. They can take the ball where it goes out of bounds after the second out-of-bounds kick. New rule a couple of years ago, but they'll make him kick again. They'll back him up now. 5 more yards to the 25. This may take a while to play the second half. This has been 30 seconds off the clock, and they're trying to keep the kickoff away from McNeil, but they're going too far away.
I think I'd go ahead and kick to him anyway just to get the game underway. Gerald McNeil is a dangerous player, though. What is it they call him? The ice cube, I believe you called a little while ago. I think what it was, he was sitting at a table one time, and the ice cube fell on the table, and they looked down and said, that reminds me of you, Gerald. You're all slippery and everything. So.
Well, that was Jeff Gossett, the punter, who gave him that moniker. There's the special teams coach, 29-year-old Bill Cowher.
Wake it up, boys, go.
He's got to feel proud knowing that Buffalo is scared of his special teams unit, trying to kick the ball away from his star, his primary receiver.
So now I talked about that high school kickoff where they went forward and kicked off at the 15. Now Buffalo is kicking off from their own 25. And Norwood keeps it inbounds. Good kick. McNeil back to the 11. And down. And loses it late. Whistle had blown, Steve Tasker. But the crowd has come alive. Tony Furjanic with the hit. And the Browns will now start on offense. Rich Stadium has erupted. They are alive, trying to fire the defense. The Browns, first down at their 31, have seen their lead trimmed to 14-10. Mack gets the reception out of the backfield. And Mack has a first down. And he's in Buffalo territory. Big return. Kevin Mack into Buffalo territory. Look at the eyes of McNeil as he grabs the kickoff.
That's concentration. And to hang on to the ball after you hit, and everybody's got him stood up now. Now everybody's trying to reach for that ball and yank it out of his hands.
Charles Romes is the Buffalo Bill down, who appears to have had the wind knocked out of him. 23-yard pickup on the short pass play to Kevin Mack.
You know, Charles Romes is the elder statesman out there. I think he's got more consecutive starts than any Buffalo player, and he's just a leader out there. And it'd be a disgrace to see him gone for any length of time. Buffalo needs him on the field.
Ron Pitts replaces him. This is 152nd straight game. And that is ice that you see. Even though it's raining and drizzly today, they had to clear the field of snow. It's cold sidelines. First down, Cleveland at the Buffalo 46. Mack, again an opening. Mack fights all the way down inside the 35. So first on the pass, now on the run. Mack gets the job done again. Darryl Talley finally brought him down.
Let's watch Darryl Talley right here. Number 56 for Buffalo. The play goes away from him, but he pursues all the way to finally make the play and make the stop, or else it could have gone all the way. Boom.
Mack checks out. Major Everett replaces him in the backfield. First down at the Buffalo 33. Everett. McManny brought him down.
The Cleveland running game kind of starts off in one direction, and the running backs almost force the defense to over pursue, and then they cut back behind them, and that's how they get the big breaks. And once they do pop out, because of that spread formation, there's lots of running room for them.
Major Everett. Mack appeared to be a bit shaken up after that last play, the way he ran off the field. We'll check on him. 2nd and 8 at the 30. Fontenot avoids 2 tacklers. Out of bounds, he slides around the 20. Eugene Marv finally, but some good moves by Herman Fontenot. And we'll check out the officials. Against the Browns. Motion.
Offense, illegal formation. 6 men on the line. Repeat the down.
You know, that was a shame that Cleveland got those penalties that time, because as you can see, Fontenot right here put some lovely moves on a couple of guys right. Just kind of lifts a right leg, then he lifts a left leg and lets them slide by, and here he goes.
This will be a 2nd and 13 for the Browns at the Bills 35. Langhorne pops some shoulder pads. The 2 Bills went down, and Langhorne continued to stand. Derek Burrows, one of the Bills, making the tackle.
I don't think Derek Burrows has the size to really pack a wallop when he does hit somebody.
Giants now lead Washington. A late first half touchdown did it for them. Cincinnati continues to run ahead of New England 7-0. Doug Flutie has run and thrown for touchdowns today for the Bears. So little guy can play quarterback in the National Football League. Here, as they take a look at Kevin Mack on the far side, 3rd and 9 at the 31. It is 14-10. Big 3rd down play here. Sidearm fling, he's dropped. So now Kosar knows how Kelly feels. Webster Slaughter as Kosar went sidearm. Slaughter couldn't hang on. Charles Rome's covered. Let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network. Back in Buffalo, Len Berman with John Hanna. 11:54 remains in the 3rd quarter. The Bills have turned it around. They scored on the opening play of quarter number 3, and now they've held defensively, and Jeff Gossett tries to keep a hand warm. He will punt away to Ron Pitts.
And what's interesting here is most teams might go for a field goal here. They just don't think Mark Mosley has the distance anymore to clear that.
Gossett kicks it up high. Will they be able to down it? Yes, they will. And Buffalo will start at the 5. Felix Wright, the man covering for Cleveland. So we've got a timeout. Buffalo ball. They trail the Browns 14-10. And welcome back to Buffalo. It's 14-10 Cleveland. Buffalo has it on their own 6-yard line.
Well, that's where they've been all day when they started on offense, is back in their own territory. It's important for them now to bring it out of there and get down the field and score some points. They got momentum right now on their side. They need to keep it on their side if they want to win.
Will he throw on first down out of the end zone? He came out as a gambler.
I quit guessing a long time ago. They're fooling me today.
Rob Riddick is back in. He was not in for that one play, which was successful to Chris Burkett for the long touchdown. Now he takes the pitch back. And Riddick fights to the 9. Pick up in 3. Will be 2nd and 7. Riddick, obviously, you can see the cast on his left wrist, which was broken. Had the 2 fumbles. One was a real tough break. You weren't with us. His own teammate, fullback Gary Wilkins, pushed the ball inadvertently out of his hand. And you see him grimacing a bit here as he leans in to get the call. Man playing in pain. 2nd and 7 for the Bills at their 9. 11 minutes remain in the 3rd quarter. Andre Reed in motion. I don't know if Kelly will throw one his way again with the drops. Riddick to the outside. And fights ahead. Close to the 14. Frank Minifield brought him down. Little guy, number 31. And Kelly now will face 3rd and short.
Buffalo has the yards on their side now. You know, it's 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. Cleveland's got to wonder what they're going to do. At least, you know, if they're in position, it's a big down right here inside the 10-yard line.
3rd and 3. Kelly going deep for Burkett again, with Minifield with him step for step.
That whole run that time, I don't know if you saw it or not, but number 31 Minifield was just slapping at Burkett step for step, just slapping his arms, knocking his hands down. The whole run is on the pattern.
Like a jockey riding a horse.
Well, I was talking to Stanley Morgan one time, who was a receiver, and he showed me a little trick they do. When they run down the field, they just kind of lay a hand maybe on the other guy's leg, and it doesn't really look like interference, but it just slows him down just a little bit.
So Kidd now stands in his end zone, ready to punt away to Gerald McNeil. Good chance for McNeil here. He is driven way back. The 34. And tripped up. Terrific tackle turned in by Steve Tasker. And he's surrounded by his teammates. Fine play as 189 brought down the other one. So 10 minutes and 5 seconds left, 3rd quarter. 51-yard punt. A good one for John Kidd. We'll be back. Back in Buffalo, while they tend to Rob Riddick's equipment, as he appeared to be in pain earlier. First down for Cleveland at their 38. Kevin Mack back in the lineup and throws a nice block. Pass to Newsome. And Ozzie out close to the 45. Those running backs have to be blockers as well, and Mack turning a nice block on that one. Sean McNanny brought Newsome down.
Cleveland's gone back to the control-type passing game now. They're throwing those little short underneath passes, knowing that they can get away with that with Buffalo. And it's working for them. It's a control-type offense without having to use the run.
6-yard pickup, just called a long handoff. 2nd and 4 at the 44. Major Everett and Curtis Dickey now in the backfield behind Kozar. Brennan in motion. Dickey had the long run. Not this time. All right, guys, you can stop now. McNanny and friends in on the stop.
McNanny's really come on this year. He's playing some super football. You know, he's not got all the great talent. He's not the gifted athlete or anything like that. He's a blue-collar worker that stays in there and fights for everything he's worth.
Yeah.
And has earned a lot of respect on the Buffalo team.
And around the league, he was not someone who came in highly touted. 3rd and 3 at the 45. They did give him a yard pickup on the play, but the crowd calling for defense on 3rd down. The rush was on.
Oh.
Burrows nearly picked it off, intended for Brennan. And credit the blitz from Martin Bayless with disrupting that play. The Buffalo defense holds again, and with 8:47 remaining in the 3rd quarter, the Bills will get it back. Here's Bayless.
When a quarterback sees that safety blitz, he knows he's got to unload the ball just on a little short inside slant pattern, hoping his receiver can beat him. That time, he did not beat number 29, Derek Burrows.
Might be a nice time to put a rush on the kicker. Jeff Gossett into punt. Here they come, but they don't get to him. Good kick, drives Pitts back. Calls for a fair catch and holds on at the 10. So with 8:40 remaining in the third quarter, the Bills trail by 4. They've got the ball back and will be back. And on the ticker, the Giants now lead in Washington by 10. And Cincinnati now leads in New England by 10. And that'll put more pressure on the Browns here. First down for the Bills at their 11. Inside handoff to Wilkins up the middle. Sam Clancy making the tackle. Look at what Chicago's doing to Tampa Bay. Miami with some points in New Orleans. Minnesota leading Green Bay by 13. Detroit has the lead in Pittsburgh. Battle of field goals into the fourth quarter in Philadelphia. And Indianapolis within 6, looking for their first win here. Cleveland looking for its first points of the second half. They continue to lead 14-10. 8 minutes to go. Second down for Kelly. Wilkins, another drop. You could hear Mike pick up Wilkins there, and that's how Kelly feels for sure. And Kelly, you can read his lips. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Take a look at Clay Matthews. I know he's a favorite of yours, but in this situation,
this time he sucked up thinking it's a run. They did give a run action, and Wilkins just went out behind him and should have caught the ball on it.
So now, third down and 5 for Buffalo at their 16. Kelly from the shotgun. And over the middle, and no one was there. He checked off one wide receiver. Andre Reed wasn't open. Looked for Riddick. Overthrew him. And with 7:59 left in the third quarter, it's 3 plays and punt for the Bills. There was the chance for them to get a long ground control, eat up the clock kind of drive. That's what the doctor ordered for the Bills right there, instead of having to punt from their goal line.
They need to get something generated on offense. They've run the ball, but then they've always had the turnovers. This time they didn't generate any offense at all, and you know, it's got to be disheartening to the Buffalo defense. They've been on the field a long time today.
Kidd. McNeil. Here he comes. He had a head of steam, and the Browns will start in Buffalo territory. Run out by Butch Roll. So Cleveland has certainly had the advantage when it comes to field position. 43-yard punt, and now with 7:50 remaining, Marty Schottenheimer's Browns with a 4-point lead will be in pretty good shape. And a reminder, bowl day and the day after, right here on NBC Sports. And we'll tell you about it in a moment, but first down and 10 at the 44. Firing. Completely. He threw a bullet to Fontenot there. Freeman covering. He really rifled it in there.
And Fontenot made a good catch. He knew on that he was going to get hit that time. It's really interesting. Buffalo showed the blitz. The Cleveland saw it, and they were audible off. Took a lot of time. I thought the 30-second clock was going to eat them up, but it didn't.
There's the lineup. Rose Orange. Fiesta, of course, for the national championship. NBC Sports, the place to be. New Year's Day and the night of January 2nd, when the national title will be decided. Measurement here to decide if the Browns got a first down. And they did. So Cleveland with the 4-point lead and an excellent position here at the 34-yard line of Buffalo with 7:36 and counting remaining, third quarter. Lights have been turned on. Game played in a drizzle. and dropped, and what's the call? Probably be no catch. It was intended for Dickey. Bentley nearly had it in his grasp. And it's called no interception, no catch, never mind, 2nd and 10 at the 34.
It looked like Bentley did have possession of it. Let's see if he does. He jumps up in the air there. Nope, he was fumbling it all the way.
So the dropsies have extended to the Buffalo defense as well. Second down and 10 for Cleveland at the 34. Cleveland escapes. A bullet, a completion. Webster Slaughter inside the 20. Talley covering, but Kozar is really gunning him in here. 15-yard pickup.
Fred Smerlis, who is much improved this year over what he's been in the past, comes in, he starts doing his patented hand slaps and everything. They got 2 guys on him, and it's hard to rush in there and get somebody when you got 2 people sitting there holding you out.
And as this drive is going for Cleveland, Browns fans will be happy to know the Patriots have just scored. The Bengal lead has been cut to 10-7 late in the 3rd quarter in Foxborough. Slaughter's numbers, first down at the 19 for the Browns. Dickey. And no success still. Oh, finally, he's the one who comes fighting out of there. Curtis Dickey stopped by 5 Bills and spurts forward. Now, let's send you to Ahmad Rashad, NFL 86.
All right, Lenny, in New England, Stanley Morgan, living up to my billing as one of the top 5 receivers in the game, catches this 39-yard pass down to the 1. Tony Collins scores 1 the next play. It makes it 10-7 Cincinnati.
Well, I'd take Ahmad's word for it. He knows what wide receivers are all about.
If there was ever a good receiver, he's one of them.
2nd and 4 at the 13. Dickey appeared to be stopped for no gain and spurted ahead for 6. Dickey. Well, no spurt this time. And you can see Bayless continue to try to slap the ball out of his hands even after the whistle had sounded. That's the name of the game defensively.
He hits it up in there, and Buffalo is being taught by their defensive coordinator to, instead of just, you know, if you get an opportunity, instead of knocking a guy to the ground, stand him up. And if you can stand him up, then everybody else gather around and try to knock that ball free. And as you can see, number 78, Bruce Smith, is doing the best he can to pick that ball up.
To harken back to the Cleveland-Cincinnati situation, Cleveland with a 1-game lead. The 2 teams meet in Riverfront Stadium next week. And that could be for everything. Right here, 3 Browns split to the left in this formation on 3rd and 2 at the 11. Now Brennan comes to the right. But Brennan, touchdown. Brennan, the man in motion. Swung out to the right. So on a day when his old college teammate, Doug Flutie, runs for a touchdown and throws for 1, Brennan has himself a touchdown reception. Big day for Boston College.
The key here was number 85, Clarence Weathers, who ran a pick on number 29, Derek Burrows, and he just kept him off about 2 steps so that the play couldn't, you know, he couldn't cover it.
So the field position, which people talk about ad nauseum, is so important, and constantly Buffalo kicking from its goal line has cost them. Mosley with the 7th point. This drive started at Buffalo's 44, and it was a quick drive, polished off. The 11-yard touchdown pass, Bernie Kosar to Brian Brennan. And with 4:50 remaining in the 3rd quarter, the Browns have extended their lead now to 21-10. Look what the Giants are doing in Washington, no less, a 17-point lead. And Denver continues to trail Kansas City. Miami big in New Orleans. Chicago having a good day. Well, Pittsburgh in another close game with Detroit. Phillies finally scored a touchdown in their game with St. Louis, and Indianapolis hanging close. Is today the day? Your former coach, Ron Meyer, his debut with Indianapolis. Coming up next, the second half of our NBC Sports doubleheader. The Jets are in San Francisco. And that should be a good one. The Jets are struggling to find some offense. Haven't scored a touchdown in the last 2 games. San Francisco had that big first half lead collapse on them last Monday night against the Giants. San Francisco looking to come back from that. So it's Jets and 49ers coming up next.
Jets this year have really been beat up too with their defensive line. I've heard rumors that Klecko might be ready to come back and start playing for them. So if he does, that could be a turnaround for them.
You know, within 7 hours after arthroscopic knee surgery, Klecko was lifting weights on his surgically repaired leg. That's the kind of guy he is. Here, Marv Levy needs offense. Marty Schottenheimer just saw a 6-play drive cover 44 yards in 3 minutes time.
There's still some time left here. We got 4:50 in the third quarter. Buffalo, maybe with Cleveland kicking off, will get some pretty good field position.
That's right.
This time.
Mosley's kickoffs have been adventures. No, that's one of his better ones. A running start for Steve Tasker to the outside. And Tasker, as you see him sliding, the field is wet from the rain that has continued to fall in a slow drizzle throughout the day. Travis Tucker made the tackle. So now with 4:42 remaining, third quarter, there's Tucker. The Bills and Kelly will try to do something. The biggest explosion they had, the very first lineup play to start the third quarter. Kelly went boom, 75 yards to Chris Burkett, electrified the crowd, but that's been it. And the drops have hurt him. First down at the 27. Riddick. Hard hit. Turned in by Mike Johnson. He gets a slap to the head from Hanford Dixon.
Good hit that time by Johnson. He came away and just walloped him.
So a ball marked at the 31. Pick up a 4. Second down and 6 for the Bills.
Watch this lick. This is good, clean football right here. Just hard-hitting game.
And while he was hitting him, he was reaching for the ball as well. Second and 6 at the 31. Reed in motion. Man-to-man coverage. Dixon goes with him. Kelly escapes, but not now. Sack turned in by Reggie Camp. Sack number 6 on the year. And Camp has to be happy. You know, a couple of years ago, he had 14 sacks, and the injuries slowed him, and people began to wonder if he'd regained some old form. And now he has a half a dozen sacks this year, and the first sack for a Brown this afternoon.
You know, they'd come in on a little twist and everything, and finally grabs a hold of him. But, you know, what really happened that time was the defensive secondary had everybody covered up. You know, there was nobody to throw to that time.
So the linemen get the credit, but the secondary gives them the boost.
One more time.
Bills have been struggling on third down. This is 3rd and 8 at the 29. From the shotgun. For Burkett, and a flag is thrown on Hanford Dixon. So a costly time on a 3rd down play for a penalty, and this one will hurt the Browns, assuming it does go on the defense.
Jim Kelly, lots of time.
No. How about that one? Thought for sure it was going to go the other way. No, sir.
Offense, number 85, pass interference, decline. Fourth
Burkett
down.
pushed off on Dixon. How about that one?
I don't know who's pushing who right there. I'd hate to be making that judgment.
No, you don't have to. And would have been incomplete, so it doesn't really affect things one way or the other. Kidd with the punt. McNeil faked last time and then ran with it. This one they let die at the 23. So 3 minutes and 38 seconds remain now in the third. First down for the Browns at the 23. No, incomplete. And word out of Foxborough. Boomer Esiason has passed 23 yards to Eddie Brown. The Bengals have scored again. Cincinnati leads New England 17-10. Let's go to Ahmad Rashad, NFL 86.
All right, Lynn, in New England, Boomer Esiason rolls to his right, finds Eddie Brown in the corner of the end zone on this 23-yard touchdown. Cincinnati leads 17-7 in the third quarter.
All right, so Cincinnati playing tit for tat long distance with Cleveland. This is a 2nd and 10 for Kosar and the Browns. 3:34 left. Third quarter. They're at the 23-yard line. Dickey. And a good tackle made by Steve Freeman as Dickey had some running room on the near side. But the 12-year veteran from Mississippi State spread the play out and was able to bring Dickey down.
They had 43 Martin Bayless up in the line of scrimmage that time, and they were showing a safety blitz all the way, and as you can see, it forced him outside, and Steve Freeman came up, made the big play.
So a gain of 4.
You know, Steve still goes back to Mississippi every offseason, lives, and
3rd down and 6 at the 27. Weathers. First down, Cleveland. Ron Pitts brought him down. But for Clarence Weathers, just his 7th reception of the year, his first of the game.
Kosar's arm, if he's grabbed a hold of his elbow, I don't know what happened that time. Looks like might
he's the only quarterback who hasn't missed a play the entire season in the NFL. He just does emotions with his arm and tries to wring it out. Oh, it was his own man, wasn't it? That's who he was fending off. Look, Cody Rising. All right, 1st and 10 at the 43. Had some strange collisions today. Dickey. He's got Freeman again, and Freeman pushes him out. You wonder if Dickey had turned it to the inside, what might have happened. But he heads out of bounds with 1:55 left in the third quarter. 22-yard pickup. Curtis Dickey with a couple of big runs today for the Browns.
That was a great run, but watch number 39, Major Everett, come in here and throw a great block right in front of your screen there. Boom, and that opens up Dickey to give him the avenue. And there he goes for the gallop.
So apparently Kevin Mack's shoulder, which caused him to miss 4 games earlier this year, is continuing to bother him. He left early in the quarter, and it's now Dickey and Major Everett in the backfield. This is first down at the Buffalo 35. Cleveland trying to put this game out of reach. And Dickey is stopped by Bruce Smith, among others.
You know, Cleveland's offensive line, as a group, I think the highest draft pick they got there is like a 5th rounder in Mike Babb. All the rest of them are like 9th, 10th rounders. They got a 10th rounder from the Jets in Dan Fike. I mean, those guys aren't supposed to be good players, but here they are. They're playing a well of a game today.
Chicago now 42. The word on Kevin Mack is his shoulder is sore. He could play if needed. 2nd and 9 at the 35. And incomplete. They're looking for Fontenot over here. Derek Burrows watching. And with 68 seconds remaining in the third quarter, Cleveland faced with 3rd and close to 10. And Kosar's numbers, I think both quarterbacks happy that neither has an interception today. Kosar's only had 10 all year.
What Kosar's done today, too, is he's kept his offense on the field for long periods of time. This is wearing Buffalo down, and it's paying its toll right now. We're going to, what I see is going to get worse because Buffalo's getting tireder and tireder on defense.
All right, 3rd and close to 10 at the 35. An important play for the Buffalo Bills this afternoon right here. Flag down. Kosar wide open. Weathers. And depending on the flag, it's a touchdown for Cleveland. It is not Weathers' first touchdown of the year. Call it back. Cleveland offside.
Offense, number 85.
He's
Offside.
the one.
Repeat the down, third down.
So he has nobody to blame but himself.
At least it was just him. You know, Clarence was with the Patriots for a few years, and then was traded out to Cleveland. Was a major factor with their team for a couple years. Now they've got so many receivers out there. He's kind of just, you know, used in spots as one of the guys.
Look, he has both names written out on his jersey.
That's because he doesn't want to be confused with his brother Robert Weathers that still plays with the Patriots.
Also, the Browns have another Weathers, Curtis Weathers, linebacker, was injured. 3rd and 15. Another flag is down. Major Everett is tackled by Dwight Drain. And in the final minute of the third quarter, we will check this flag out. Holding, Browns.
Offense, number 70. Holding, 10 yards, still third down.
Larry Williams, first-year player from Notre Dame, who's pressed into duty at left guard.
What's the left side of your monitor here, number 70? You can see him. Guy gets on his outside shoulder, and he kind of throws that arm up and rips him up, and I don't know whether he held. Yeah, there he is, right there. You know, I've been there myself, Lynn.
Right.
That's awful embarrassing, you know what I mean? The referee looks at it and says, "You're holding."
Right.
And I said, "But I didn't mean to."
Look at this, a 3rd and 25 from midfield for the Browns. Fontenot dropped it, and another flag is thrown. And Bruce Smith is saying it's on them again. He's pointing towards Paul Farron.
Offense, number 63. Holding, decline.
Well, it's called on Cody Rison. That's the Klein, and that drive in shambles for the Browns, and they'll kick it away with 23 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Check out the very lower right-hand portion of the screen. When we get to the replay, you'll be able to see it. Jeff Gossett lining up to punt.
There he is right there, number 74. He just kind of, there, 63, just reaches around and grabs him.
Gossett. Pitts. Down. And the Bills will once again start deep in their own territory. D.D. Hoggard making the tackle. This is the 10th time they've had the ball. 5 times they'll start within their 20.
As Jim Kelly goes in and out on the field to take his team down, hopefully.
On the run back, number 36, illegal block, above the waist, in the back, half the distance, first down.
Uh-oh, that doesn't help. Another 5 or 6 yards taken away.
Rodney Bellinger with the infraction.
But anyway, on those holding calls, the defensive lineman is actually putting himself in the position of being held. Sometimes that's not supposed to be the offensive lineman's penalty. The referee's supposed to let that go.
So he's being suckered into a hold? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. The defensive lineman comes in and actually puts his arm underneath the offensive lineman's arm, and it's a ploy to draw the holding call.
I can't believe football players would do anything like that.
Defensive linemen cheat all they can. You got to remember that.
Not you guys, right? First down for Buffalo at the 10. And straight ahead, Rob Riddick.
You know, with only 7 seconds, well, the end of the third quarter right now, you would think that Buffalo might start going to the air. I don't know.
That is the end of the third quarter. The score, Browns 21, Bills 10. We'll be right back to Buffalo after these messages from your local station.
You know, the stats are kind of lopsided now towards Cleveland, but the biggest stat of all is the time of possession. 27 minutes to the Browns versus 17 to the Bills. You take a defense been on the field 10 minutes longer, they're getting tired right now.
Buffalo with it. 2nd and 6 at their 10. Kelly to throw. The rush is on. Oh, nice defensive play. It was intended for Reed. Anthony Griggs, the right inside linebacker, got a big paw on it to swat it down. And he was pressured by Ray Ellis on a safety blitz. It was a good time to call that play, but Kelly got the pass off.
You see Ray Ellisby coming in from the right side of the screen, making him hurry the throw.
Nice play by Griggs there, getting a hand on it. 3rd and 6. Buffalo now at the 10. So we start the 4th quarter in Orchard Park, New York. Cleveland holding on to an 11-point lead. A 3rd down conversion. They need one here. Burkett, he's got it. To the 45. Change that 3rd down conversion stat to 2 of 9. 35-yard pickup. Kelly to Burkett. That's been the combination today for Buffalo. That's an interesting statistic, too. It's catches for 1st downs. That's very important.
That man coverage, he's sticking with him at the beginning. He finally shakes free and gets over the middle. It's a nice catch.
And now, finally, some daylight for the Bills as Burkett brings it out to the 45. Buffalo can look back and not see the goalpost for a rare time. 2 catches for 110 yards. How about that then? 1st down at their 45. For Reed, and he holds on to one, and Reed all the way down to the 31. And he has to be happy. Finally able to hold on to a catch. And a Brown is injured on the play. And Kelly is heated up. He just confidently winks. Griggs gets up.
Griggs a little slow right now. He comes in there and makes the good blow, but he pays the price.
Well thrown ball. 1st down to 31. I was talking to Phil Simms of the Giants the other day, and he said if a guy is open, a quarterback will hit him. That's all there is to it. And Reed got open that time. 1st down to the 31. And there's another open receiver. And Kelly hits him, and Reed holds on for a 2nd consecutive time. A short pickup, but the Bills are moving with 13 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. Clay Matthews making the tackle. And Phil Simms and those Giants now lead in Washington. That's awfully impressive in RFK Stadium in front of that crowd. 17-point lead. Bengals continue to lead the Patriots by 10, and Kansas City with a surprising lead over Denver at 24-10. Playoff implications there as well. Chicago rolling, Miami holding off New Orleans, Minnesota comfortable. Pittsburgh big over Detroit. Here 21-10 Cleveland. Buffalo 2nd and 4 at the 26. Harmon caught it on a bounce. Trap, it's ruled. Ronnie Harmon disagrees. Chris Rockins covering. Harmon, the top draft choice out of Iowa, but hasn't been involved much. Only 1 carry today, only 2 or 3 carries the last 3 weeks. And he thought he made a completion here, but it was ruled a trap.
I don't know. His hands look like they might be cradling that up.
Replay time, folks.
It is a replay
Bill
time. Swanson
is the replay official. And he just saw that replay with you. And I'll be surprised if he doesn't call down to the field. Good morning.
Be surprised.
Where are you, replay? That's what it's there for. And Kelly completes a 2nd pass to Teal with Dixon covering. But it's shy of a 1st down. And Teal hops off. And this sets up 4th down.
Let's look at the non-replay call here. We see if he caught that ball or not. I'd like to. Looks like he had his hands under that.
That's
ball.
A clean catch. And the replay official saw it and chose to believe that that was not a conclusive replay, which I would choose to disagree with. 4th and 1. Oh, here come the Browns, and flags fly. Were they drawn off? Goes against Buffalo. And now that non-call.
Number 87. Ball start.
You know, now that non-call by the replay official looms massive. The replay was put in 1986 just for that situation. And when the replay officials just choose to sit on their hands, that's not right. If you're going to have new technology, you use it, folks. And I can't believe they chose not to. That was a conclusive replay.
I'm on your side. This game could have been a lot different right now, still going for 7 instead of having to settle for 3.
John Kidd will hold for Scott Norwood. This will be a 45-yard attempt to draw them within 8. And it is way shy.
I can't understand that call anyway, Lynn, because now that if they made that have been within 8, they need at least 2 touchdowns still to win.
First down for
They're trying to pound it up there to eat the clock up, but they just they weren't able to do it that time. I think they're going to try to stay away from the pass now. They know that Buffalo needs 2 touchdowns to win this game, and they're well content to let their defense play the type of game they've been playing all day.
11 minutes remain, 4th quarter. 2nd down and 8 at the 29.
Draw screen or pass?
Kozar chased by Smerlis and throws it complete to Fontenot. Stayed in bounds. Clock continues to run. Lucius Sanford covering. 10.5 minutes to go as Cleveland continues to lead Buffalo 21-10. And since Cincinnati is rolling up the score in Foxborough, it's now 24-7 Bengals. That sets up the showdown next week in Cincinnati. Browns and Bengals, if these scores hold. There's the Bengals score. Background of a little snowman from some creative fans here in Buffalo. Showdown for first place next week, Riverfront Stadium. That should be a good one. If still 10 minutes to go here. 3rd down and 1. Ball at the 36. Langhorne in motion. Fontenot the call. Has the blocking. The first down and out of bounds. Sanford pushed him out towards the bench. Sliding on that slippery surface we showed you earlier. 10-yard pickup for Fontenot. And the clock is stopped with 9:51 to go, 4th quarter.
It's kind of an interesting play that time. They lined up in shotgun formation like they're going to throw the ball. The guards kind of set back and turn like they're going one way and then go the other.
It's interesting how you look at a television monitor. We've received word from the replay booth that what we thought was a catch, they watched the same replay and thought it bounced. I don't know how you folks felt at home, but John Hanna and I felt in the booth it was a very clean catch, and it was conclusive. But those watching on television, it's all in the eyes of the beholder. The replay official said it was not. 1st and 10 at the 45. Dickey. No gain. And finally whistled down with Smerlis pushing him down. Dickey draws a crowd, doesn't he?
There's a flag down on the field right now. I don't know. Looks like it could be offsides by one of the 2 teams.
You got it. Against the Bills. Flags have killed Buffalo all year long. Fred Silva, referee today.
Number 76, defense, lining up in the neutral zone. 5 yards, first down.
Smerlis lined up offside.
Fred's trying to act like Joe Klecko right there. He kind of turns sideways to the ball and jump that gap. But watch him stay. He just kind of gets cut off by the center that time, and he's fighting, hustling, and finally he ends up with the ball carrier in his arms.
So it's now 1st and 5 for midfield. The neutral zone is the length of the football. Dickey. No gain. Sean McNanny. And that'll set up 2nd down and 5 from midfield. And identical scores. The road team winning in Washington and Foxborough. The home team up by 17 in Kansas City. New Orleans within 4 points of Miami. St. Louis and Philly tied in the 4th, and the Colts within 2 of Atlanta. 2nd and 5 at midfield for Cleveland. ago as an incomplete pass. Just slipped out of Kozar's hands. And that will be 3rd and 5.
Miami 31, New Orleans 20.
Kozar not happy with himself that time, but he was under pressure. There was some good rush on him that time.
Now he heads back to the huddle. Reminds me of Dave Wilson last week in New Orleans. He went back to pass, and the ball just fell out of his hands, bounced right to a defensive lineman of the Patriots for 7 points. Bad luck for New Orleans. On this one, it was a forward pass. 3rd and 5. Long count may have drawn Drew Smith offside. The Bills say it was a fumble and a sack, but it may have been the Smith jump that gave them the edge to get into the backfield there.
I think he did jump. It looked like he had a step before the ball ever moved.
Defense, number 78. Offside. 5 yards, still 3rd down.
Watch here as he comes off. He's a full step before the ball ever really snaps off the ground. You know, on 3rd down and long, those defensive linemen, they know you're going to throw. And boy, those knuckles start turning white, and you see those teeth start gritting. And as an offensive lineman, that's not a lot of fun, pretty sight to look at. You know what I mean?
Smith saying, "Who, me?" They caught him. Camera did.
Well, he's been crying all day to the referee that the offensive lineman's been holding him, you know, and now all of a sudden for him to get caught for a penalty, it doesn't look good.
So the penalty gives them the 1st down.
And with 8:50 left in the 4th quarter, trailing by really what they need is 2 touchdowns, that doesn't speak good for Buffalo. Costly mistake.
Now they're going to have to spot the change. There's fellows on the near side, and the officials are not in sync, and the Buffalo Bills players are questioning it as well.
Bernie Kosar has played a good game today. You know, he's not really gone up to the...
Oh, it will be short of 1st down by 8 inches, still 3rd down.
Okay, that's
they're
the call.
short.
All right.
But
Brett Silva had signaled 1st down because it was, the last play was a 3rd and 5. And the official must have thought that they got the 5 by the penalty, but it's still 8 inches shy. So now it's 3rd and inches.
Bernie Kosar is playing a good game today, though. He's hit those little short passes. He's kept his team on the field. Got to give that guy a lot of credit. He's really coming to this league and proving himself.
Interceptions, that's really the key. Very few Kosar has thrown. Dickey. Flag comes flying into the picture again, as I believe he had the 1st down, barely. Well, they won't get a 1st down. Be 3rd down still on a hold against
Offense,
Cleveland.
number 61. Holding. 10 yards, still 3rd down.
Mike Babb, the center. Now instead of 3rd and inches, it's 3rd and 10 inches.
Well, now instead of either team controlling the game, it's those guys in the black and white shirts. There's nothing more frustrating for a player than to be out on the field and you can't do anything for all the flags flying around you.
Well, they're being thrown for a reason.
Well, I guess, but sometimes they're thrown too many times. You know.
Cincinnati has just scored again in Foxborough against your old teammates, John. It's now 31-7, so the Bengals will be going 9-5 today. And he is sacked this time. Dean Prater, 1st sack of the year. 3rd for the Bills this afternoon. The Browns will have to punt with 8:13 to go, nursing an 11-point lead.
Watch Prater right here as he comes in. Fred just kind of knocks him free, and when Kosar tries to scramble, he's there to make the tackle.
Gossett's a punt. Short punt. Bounces out of bounds at around the 26-yard line. Gossett heads off. Cleveland leads by 11, 7:51 to go. 33-yard punt for Gossett. Levy and Buffalo have the ball. 7 minutes and 51 seconds remain in the fourth quarter in Buffalo. Len Berman with John Hanna. Over 42,000 showed up in the rain today as the Bills start from their 26. Wobbler falls out of bounds harmlessly. Kelly winds up on his back, helped up by the man who put him there, Clay Matthews. And Jim Kelly today, by going those 200 yards, now has thrown for 3,000 yards, just the second Bill to ever accomplish the 3,000-yard passing mark in the season. Joe Ferguson did it twice. So Kelly making an immediate impact, not only in yardage, but on the fans here in Buffalo. 2nd and 10. Wide open, Metzelaars to the 45. The ankle-saving tackle by Chris Rockins. 19-yard pickup for Kelly. Clock continues to run. 7.5 minutes to go.
Cincinnati gambled that time by shooting linebacker number 53, Anthony Griggs, into the ground. Excuse me, Cleveland. I mentioned Cincinnati because I was feeling sorry for my old teammates. But, but they shot him in there and left Metzelaar wide open to get the ball and make a big completion for him that time.
It's getting darker, the rain falling harder. First down at the 44 for Buffalo. Kelly complete to Harmon. Steps out of bounds, watched by Ray Ellis. And Cleveland territory at the 45.
You know, Lynn, with 7:03 left in this game, they've got a lot of time to get this one on the scoreboard, put 7 in their pocket, and then get back on the field because the defense did stop on the last drive.
Jets and 49ers coming up. The Patriots loss, a big help to the Jets in the AFC East. You'll be seeing that game as the ball rolls a couple of yards away from where it was placed. 7 minutes and 3 seconds to go, and it's raining harder.
Cleveland has just put 4 defensive linemen in. They usually go with 3, as you know, and they're trying to get that rush.
First down at the 45. No rush. Now they've got it, and that's a sack. Carl Hairston with his 7th of the year. And Kelly couldn't find anybody open. 7 minutes to go. Elsewhere, Washington within 10 of the Giants. Cincinnati rowing on to victory. Kansas City by 17. Big Chicago win. Miami trying to hold off New Orleans. Minnesota comfortably in front of Green Bay. Overtime in Philadelphia. 2nd and 14 at the 49. Kelly dances away from trouble. The outlet man is Wilkins, who couldn't hold it.
For a converted tight end, he's dropped 3 passes today, and that doesn't speak too well for him.
He's also the one that knocked the ball out of Rob Riddick's hands inadvertently in the first quarter.
That's right. It's just not been his day. Nobody around him. Should have had it. Especially after the kind of work that Jim Kelly had done back there to get free to deliver the ball to him.
Let's pause for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
This is WKYC TV3 in Cleveland.
3rd down and 14 for Buffalo, trailing Cleveland 21-10. They're at the ground 49. Metzelaars holds on, gets the 40. Well shy of a first down. 5 yards short. Chip Banks making the stop. Those fans who have stayed in the rain are calling for the Bills to go for it.
They have no choice. They have to go for it now. I mean, we're in the final minutes of the game. At least on that play, though, Lynn, you know, they didn't get the first down, but they got half the yardage that they needed. Right now, it's 4th and 5, and that sure is a lot better than 4th and 12.
The rain is falling the hardest it has fallen all day. Thank goodness the temperature is up a bit, or we would be playing in a driving snowstorm right now. From the shotgun, 4th and 5 at the Cleveland 40. Big play with 5:40 to go. Andre Reed's got it.
Out of bounds.
Oh, didn't quite get out of bounds. The clock continues to run, but he did get to the 20. A big completion to Andre Reed, who is down on both knees. But the clock runs. 5:15 to go and counting. A 22-yard pickup. Kelly to Reed. And Reed wants to stay in.
He needs to stay in. You know, again, the game, he had dropped a couple of easy passes. This time he kind of makes up for it. Nice move on his part. You see him kind of fade away to get out of number 31, Frank Minifer, for Cleveland's way. It's great little maneuver on his part.
Reed stays in. Jimmy Teal checks in as well. Inside of 5 minutes to go. 1st and 10 at the 18. Incomplete. Intended for Reed. It'll be 2nd down, but in the meantime, we have an update coming. Let's go to NFL 86.
All right, Lenny, in New England, James Brooks reels off the run of the day. Here he breaks off right tackle, goes down the right sideline. It looks like he gets in a little trouble here, and he runs through 1, 2, 3 tacklers, 56 yards for the score. Cincinnati leads 31-7, 4th quarter.
It's usually Kinnebrew shedding the tacklers, not the little guy. Brooks doing it in their big win today. 4:43 to go here in Buffalo. Cleveland leading by 11. Buffalo has a 2nd and 10 at the 18. For Reed. Did he hold on? Ruled incomplete. And Dixon covering. Wound up with the football. And this will set up 3rd down for Kelly and the Bills with 4:37 to go.
He's going against Hanford Dixon, number 29 there, who is by and far one of the better corners in the league, and he was able to get out and just put a hand on it and knock it out. It was a good play by Hanford that time in a crucial part of the game.
Now from the shotgun. 3rd down and 10. For Reed. No, sir. Double team there. Ellis came up. Mark Harper was in on the play as well. But it was this man, Ellis, who poked it away and gingerly walks away. Right there. Ray Ellis. And Harper went down. So 4th down and 10 at the 18. The last 4th down try was successful. They try here again with 4 minutes and 32 seconds to go. Oh, good on 4th down. Bad snap. And that'll put an end to this drive, and the fans all get up en masse and start heading out. Sam Clancy came up with it. Didn't matter who did at that point. On a 4th down snap that just did not connect. And as a result, Buffalo heads off the field. Cleveland gets it back with the game in command. 4:28 to go. Let's flash back to November 4th, 1984. Marty Schottenheimer's first win as Cleveland coach. Paul McDonald passed. Willis Adams fumbled. But Ernest Biner picked it up and scampered 55 yards for the touchdown. Cleveland won here in Buffalo 13-10. His first win. And it appears that this will be his latest win. Although both teams have 3 timeouts remaining, so this win may take a few minutes to come for Marty Schottenheimer. 8 seconds remain.
Good friend John Holmes.
And the game's remaining. Of course, the showdown next week. Cleveland and Cincinnati at Cincinnati. Cleveland will now be 10-4. Cincinnati 9-5. The battle for first place. Bengals have a tougher finishing game. Inside of 4 minutes to go. 2nd and 10 now for Cleveland at the 21. They'll be content to run. Dickey. 3:35 to go. Ray Bentley making the stop. And no timeout taken by the Bills. They have all 3, but they think they can stop on downs and get it right back.
You know, this lucky for Cleveland that they aren't, you know, any further behind than what they are, or further ahead than what they are, I should say, because, they don't have a real running game that can eat a clock up in the closing minutes. If they were behind, say, by 2 or something, or ahead by 2 right now, it'd be very important for them to be grinding the ball out, and they aren't able to do that right now.
3 minutes to go. 3rd down and 10 for Cleveland at the 21. Brennan in motion. Fontenot carries. And Bruce Smith grasped with air as Fontenot moved ahead, and a timeout is taken here by the Bills with 2:45 to go.
4th down. Bruce Smith that time I don't think was really trying to go for the tackle as he was just trying to strip the ball out of his hand and get the ball and get it for the Buffalo offense in real good field position.
Reminder, it's out to Candlestick Park in San Francisco coming up. Jets will be playing the 49ers. Jets with a little breathing room now, as apparently the Patriots will lose, and Jets will take a first-place edge. And that's a big thing for them, because in tiebreakers against New England, the Patriots had the advantage. But now there is no tie should the Jets win this afternoon.
Well, both teams are so beat up right now that
whoever's standing at the end gets it by default, right?
You've got it, because, I mean, all their starting players have either been in the hospital or still in the hospital.
So Jeff Gossett will punt into a bit of a wind that's kicking up now with the rain. Still 2:45 to go. Buffalo with 2 timeouts and the 2-minute warning on their side. High snap. Gossett comes down with it. Low kick to Pitts, who drops it and falls on it at the 43. And stop made by Mark Harper. Pitts lucky to fall on it. Some of the brain surgeons in the stands have just started throwing snowballs down on the field. That's all they have left to do. There is a lot of snow around the stadium that was cleared out this week. And I'm just keeping my fingers crossed an official or a player is not hit, or a fan, from a snowball thrown by someone else. What do you know? Your old buddy Ron Meyer just took the lead. Indianapolis may get its first win today. They've taken the lead with 20 seconds to go, 28-23 over Atlanta. Here, 1st and 10 for Buffalo at the 44. 2:39 to go. Burkett nearly had another terrific reception. He was there, ball was high, and he had a shot on it. Couldn't hold on.
He breaks across the middle. He had outrun 56 Chip Banks and got in behind him, got in between the zone. Just a little overthrown.
We've had a scoreless 4th quarter. The second half began with Jim Kelly hitting Chris Burkett 75 yards on the first play of the 3rd quarter. Kelly on 2nd down. Firing, completing to Teal. Ahead for a 1st down with 2:24 to go. And Buffalo hustles up to the line of scrimmage.
1st down.
1st down at the Cleveland 45. Trying to get a playoff and calling it at the line of scrimmage.
12 seconds left for 2 minutes.
There it is. Burkett comes down with it at the 32. And we've reached the 2-minute warning with Mark Harper covering.
That was a nice catch on his part, because Mark Harper, number 23 for Cleveland, was all over him.
So we've reached the 2-minute warning. Buffalo's moving. They trail 21-10. Well, as the dusk settles in with the wind and the rain in Buffalo, the Bills still trying to make a game out of it now with 1:59 to go.
Well, there's a lot of things can happen in 1:59 seconds, and so far they've got a good drive going. Cleveland had to throw the ball, to keep their thing alive, and they weren't able to. That's when a good running game comes in handy, is these last 2 minutes.
What hurts Buffalo is down by 11. I mean, they need 2 touchdowns. The touchdown and the field goal doesn't help.
Well, stranger things have happened.
That's for sure.
Last week you were at a strange game. You'd have never thought that one pulled out, but it happened.
That was the New Orleans-New England game, and I don't know how New England won it with -2 yards rushing the entire game, and they pulled it out with a blocked punt and that strange fumble we talked about earlier. But here, driving rain continues to fall. 1:59 to go. Kelly's numbers: 1 touchdown, no interceptions. 1st down at the 32. Kelly comes away with it. Fires it to Metzelaars, and he's inside the 20. And Buffalo hurrying to the line of scrimmage with 1:45 to go. They have 2 timeouts left. Ball spotted at the 18. First down. Firing complete. And ahead inside the 10. Wilkins finally held on to it. Gary Wilkins. Ball at the 9. And Kelly takes the timeout. So the Bills with 1:23 down to 1 timeout. They're driving. They're trailing by 11. Kelly's got over 300 yards passing on the day. You would wonder what he'd have if his wide receivers and running backs had held on. Look at this, 311. 2nd and 1 at the 9.
Safety blitz.
And throws it the direction of Metzelaars as Hanford Dixon was on his trail. And the clock is stopped with 1:19 to go with 3rd down and 1 for Kelly in Buffalo. Kelly's had a terrific game. If you said who won the battle between the 2 Miami quarterbacks, the edge, even though he's trailing the game, might tip towards Kelly today. He's really played under adversity and responded.
Kozar's played well, but Kelly's done little things like scrambling, rolling out, getting out of trouble to throw the pass. The only trouble is he hadn't had the receivers to hang on the ball like Kozar has.
3rd and 1. Firing at the goal line. Incomplete. Felix Wright. And Teal and Wright together, and it falls incomplete. So now 4th down and 1.
You can see how even they are on the day. Kelly really for more yards.
How about that? A game without an interception. That is an oddity. 4th and 1. And straight ahead it goes to the 5 for the first down for Wilkins. And now the Buffalo Bills spend their last timeout.
I think it's a timeout by the officials. I saw flags fly.
Defense, offside, half the distance to the goal.
So the defensive penalty.
That's a first down.
And a first down for the Buffalo Bills with 65 seconds remaining.
One thing you can say about these 2 teams is they have not slowed down the whole day. They have been at each other's throat.
Interesting finish. 1st and goal. Kelly faking, heading the other way. Firing to the end zone. Teal, touchdown! Jimmy Teal, first touchdown. And he'll keep the ball. First touchdown of his NFL career.
Here he is, just getting across the goal line, barely.
Traffic.
Oh, man.
A little X-pick helped him out there.
He sure did. And it wasn't intentional either. I think everybody's just trying to scramble to get open.
Norwood will... So with a minute to go, Buffalo within 4 points. The kick was good. And the onside kick will be forthcoming. And Buffalo does have 1 timeout remaining.
Just think of all the Buffalo fans that have left and gone home and are sitting around in their car driving down the highway now. Don't you think they'd like to be here for this? That's why you never leave a ball game early.
NFC East. The Bengals have won in New England. Kansas City, the big win over Denver. Chicago, a big win. Miami held off New Orleans. Minnesota over Green Bay. Pittsburgh leading Detroit. They're overtime in Philadelphia. And Indianapolis, with new coach Ron Meyer, has won in Atlanta. The Colts have a...
You know, sometimes you get a coach like that, and he comes in and it puts a little fear in some of those players. They say, I better start performing, because if I don't perform, I won't have to look for a new job. And apparently that's what he's done out at Indianapolis.
They've got the win. So with a minute to go, Cleveland puts the wide receivers up on the line of scrimmage to catch this probable onside kick. And here goes the routine. Must be fun to practice this, huh? Look at this.
Watching, they're about 15 yards. It's a timing thing.
Here they go. And here they come. And Cleveland has the ball. Big play.
Barring a fumble on the snap, I would say Cleveland's got this game.
Maybe Ozzie Newsome on the cover.
Watch this. They all get a running start. They're about 15 yards behind the ball, and then instead of trying to time up with the ball, they say, all right, now kick it.
Looked like Ozzie Newsome under there. But Buffalo can stop the clock one more time. 58 seconds remaining.
It's a valiantly played ball game by both teams.
All right, Buffalo takes the last time out, but it's academic. Cleveland just kneels two more times, and that's the ball game. So Marty Schottenheimer and the Cleveland Browns are staring at a 10-4 record and a chance this year for the first time in the club's history to win 12 games. Of course, they'd have to win in Cincinnati and then win the final game with San Diego at home. We have 53 seconds to go, and Buffalo, with a valiant effort, will fall 4 points shy, barring a miracle. It's 21-17. It hasn't been easy.
You know, Marty Schottenheimer, one of those guys that have played the game that now has come into coaching, been really successful. You know, he understands what the players think, how they feel, and he's able to communicate with them. He does a real good job out there. And I tell you, he's lost a running back, and he's been able to take up a new offensive strategy to where he kind of spreads them out, and he's done a good job with it. Good coach.
So there's the first kneel, and there will be one more, and that will be it. And here's a surprise. Our Budweiser MVP will be from the losing team today. Jim Kelly. The MVP award sponsored by Budweiser. Today's MVP at Budweiser on Kelly's behalf will make a contribution to the United Way. As on the day, Jim Kelly 20 of 39, 315 yards, 2 touchdowns. That doesn't include the drops that he suffered through. He's had an outstanding day in defeat. Congratulations, Jim Kelly. And this will be the final snap of the day. So, with Kelly's statistics, 23 passes thrown in the fourth quarter, it wasn't enough. Buffalo, good game effort, but they lost it 21-17. The Browns continue their one-game lead over Cincinnati. The showdown next week, the Battle of Ohio for first place at Riverfront Stadium. For John Hanna, Len Berman saying so long from Rich Stadium in Buffalo, where the final score once again, the Cleveland Browns 21, the Buffalo Bills 17. Stay tuned for the second half of today's football doubleheader. The Jets take on the 49ers at Candlestick Park. Thanks for watching. So long, everybody.